On a sunny Tuesday night, the Falmouth Commodores have a chance to make the playoffs for the first time in 3 years. But in their way, a pesky Bourne Brave squad who leads the West and has done so almost the entire season long. It's Tuesday Night Baseball on Cape League TV. Welcome Fieldside at Gov Fuller Field alongside Daniel Stein. I'm Alex Burstein. Daniel, it's the time of year where it feels like a new team is clinching the playoff spot every night in the Cape Cod Baseball League. And tonight, that chance is owned by the Falmouth Commodores. It's win and in for the home team.
Yeah, Alex, 5 of the 8 playoff spots up for grabs have already been clinched, and one of the teams in this matchup has clinched. That's the Bourne Braves, of course, leading the West Division by 5 points. And the West Division is a bit of a mess when you consider how close all of the teams are, but Bourne has been in front of that division for most of the time, but Hyannis just clinched yesterday in their win over YD, and now Falmouth has a chance to get that 3 spot, which would really put Katuitt in 4th place under some heavy pressure.
Bourne and Hyannis, your 2 teams in the West, YD, Brewster, and Harwich in the East. No team yet has locked up their specific place, though. That will all be finalized over the last few days of the season. Let's get your starting lineups first for the visiting Bourne Braves, who come in at 18, 13, and 3, first place in the West Division. A couple newcomers into the lineup, and it begins with Riker Waite, the Vanderbilt product, who leads off at shortstop. Rejoined the team just this week, making his second appearance after an early June stint with the Bravos. Rustin Rigdon hits second, also out of Vanderbilt. He's in center field tonight. Luke Costello, the 3-hitter, will be in right field. Josiah Overbeek is the cleanup man at first base. Berkeley Mabius, the transfer portal commit to Mississippi State, will do the designated hitter duties. Justin Osterhaus out of Alabama plays at second base tonight. He bats 6th. It'll be Ryan Pikatowski at third base, a transfer portal commit to West Virginia. Matt Bolden hits 8th out of Binghamton and will be playing in left field. And Bryce Eastap out of South Carolina, the transfer portal commit, is the catcher on the mound tonight for the Bravos. It's the right-hander Tyler Baer. Down the order for the Commodores, Fabio Peralta leads off in center field. It'll be Braden Jeffries at third base batting second. Carter White holds down left field batting third. And in the 4 spot, it's the first baseman Tommy Harrison. Matthew Farner is the shortstop. He bats 5th tonight. Jeff Luigi, the designated hitter, bats 6th. Gavin Greger, in his second stint with the Commodores this year, is in right field batting 7th. Dallas Brooks, the catcher tonight out of Central Florida, bats 8th. And Austin Maley, still in the portal, bats 9th at second base. The starter for the Commodores, Colby Putnam, he's on the mound right now, throwing some warm-ups in the all-white home kit for this Commodores team. Putnam making his 3rd start of the year. Daniel, what do the Commodores need out of the right-hander?
I think what they need out of Putnam is just to do what he did almost a month ago when these 2 teams faced off right here at the Gov. That was back on July 11th. Alex and I were on the call for that one on WBZ when Putnam started for Falmouth in their 4-0 win over Bourne. He went 4 innings, just allowed 1 hit of scoreless ball and struck out 2 as well. Putnam has been really impressive. Remember, this is a guy who has some serious mileage on his arm, especially from the spring when he pitched a lot for a good Gardner-Webb team. Now he's come to the Cape and really just picked up right where he left off.
Perhaps the best second-half starter for this Commodores squad, a .66 ERA against 13 2/3 innings. He joined the team on July 3rd, right before the holiday. He's just about set to get going at a cloudy Gov Fuller Field. He begins his day against Riker Waite, the switch hitter out of Vanderbilt, who begins his day batting as a lefty against a right-hander Putnam. Falmouth 15, 18, and 2, 7 points back of the Braves with a win tonight, puts them into the playoffs for the first time since 2023. Just about time for first pitch as Putnam winds up and fires, popped up into shallow left side of the infield, and the shortstop Farner comes in for the grab. There's 1 away off of just 1 pitch. First pitch tonight at 6 p.m. on the dot from Falmouth. So an efficient start for Putnam. That's what he's done all season long. This is, as we mentioned, his 3rd start of the year. He made a pair of bullpen appearances as well. Another switch hitter, Rustin Rigdon, comes to the plate. He will also be on the left side. First pitch, Rigdon takes it all the way for a strike. 0-1 on the Vanderbilt product. So a quick start to this one. Rigdon trying to be the game's first base runner. Next offering. Rigdon bounces it over the second base. Routine for Maley, who grabs it, flips over the first in time. And there's 2 away off of just 3 pitches. Putnam really efficient early on.
Yeah, I alluded to it when Putnam took the mound back on July 11th. You know, this is not a guy who's going to get a ton of strikeouts, especially in this Cape League. But if he's going to continue to be efficient like he has through the first 2 outs and just keep pumping the zone and induce weak contact, that's a good sign for the Falmouth starter.
So it's up to Luke Costello to keep the inning going. First pitch, righty-righty. Costello takes a fastball in the bottom outside corner for a strike. 0-1 the count. Costello, 6'2", just wrapped up his sophomore year at Wake Forest, headed to South Carolina for next year. 0-1 pitch. Costello watches the breaking ball outside, and the count evens out at 1 apiece. One of the best extra base hitters in the Cape League. He has 10 doubles. That leads the Cape. 1-1 offering. Costello fouls it back into the netting behind home plate. Defense played straight up for the Commodores to begin this Tuesday evening matchup. It was a 6 p.m. first pitch. Half blue skies, half overcast, and a very comfortable 75 degrees at first pitch. The 1-2. Costello watches it low, and it's a 2-2 count. Costello has some of the better bat speed on this Braves team. That's why you put him at the 3 spot. 2-2. Costello pops it up, foul out of play behind us. Josiah Overbeek waits on deck with Berkeley Mabius in the hole. This is a Braves lineup that features 3 switch hitters and 3 lefties. Putnam's gone through 2 already. 2-2. Fastball just misses high, and the count goes full to the 3-hitter for the Braves.
Well, the radar gun not working here right now at Gov Fuller Field, but you can expect that fastball from Putnam to be in the high 80s and low 90s.
The payoff pitch. Costello grounds it sharply foul to the left side. A 240 hitter for the Braves this season. Costello making his 30th appearance of the year. He's been in Bourne almost the whole season. Went away for a couple days during the MLB draft. Did not get drafted and came back to Bourne. The 3-2. Costello fouls it off again to the left side.
Well, it does look like that he's seeing Putnam pretty well because he's turned around the last 2 fastballs. If he can just wait a hair, I think he's going to get one into play if he gets another fastball here, but might be smart for him to go with the off speed.
Long at bat, another payoff. Costello hits it in the air out to right field, playable for Gregor out in right, who reaches up and makes the grab. A clean 1-2-3 start for Colby Putnam and the Falmouth defense. They go to bat in the back half of the first after we take a break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Bourne and Falmouth scoreless on Cape League TV. Scoreless as we go to the bottom of the first at Gov Fuller Field between the Bourne Braves and the Falmouth Commodores. Alongside Daniel Stein, I'm Alex Burstein. Tyler Baird makes the march out to the mound for the first inning out of the Bourne Braves starting pitcher. Bracing those red away jerseys for the Bravos, gray pants. And so far, it's been a very impressive summer for Tyler Baird, making his third start of the year, a second-half pickup for Bourne, a 2.70 ERA. Daniel, what does the Vandy boy need to do against this off-and-on Falmouth offense?
I think he just needs to keep up the good work. This is a Falmouth team that is sneaky good offensively. They lead the Cape League in hits, and they're in top 5 in runs. But really, with Falmouth, if you can just not give up extra base hits, doubles, home runs, you're going to be in a better spot, because this Falmouth team is going to get on base, but it's a matter of moving those runners past scoring position, where I think Baird has the most impact on what this game's going to look like.
Baird joined the Braves on July 9th after going to Team USA training camp, attempted to make the collegiate national team, fell just a little bit short, and is now spending his last month of the summer on the Cape. Fabio Peralta, the left-hander out of Miami, toes the home plate to begin the bottom of the first. Righty-lefty matchup, Peralta in center field tonight, as Baird stands tall on the mound, the 6'3" rising sophomore. Late kick and the first pitch. Peralta shows bunt, sends it back the way of Baird. Peralta speedy down the line, and he's safe at first. Baird got to the ball somewhat quickly, but the league leader in stolen bags was no match. Peralta zooms down the first base line, and that's one way to beat this Bourne defense.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty quick group of teams between Rustin Rigdon and Fabio Peralta. Those two guys are tied for the most stolen bases in the Cape League, and I thought that this play was pretty close, but they rule him safe at first, and Peralta, with his speed, don't be surprised if he takes off.
Left-handed Braden Jeffries at the plate against the righty Baird. First offering. Fastball fouled back, and it's an 0-1 count. Jeffries in his 22nd appearance of the year for this Commodore squad. He's third in the Cape Cod Baseball League with a .349 average, but among active hitters, he is number 1. Baird sets low below his belt and throws to first base. Peralta back in time. The two men above him, both former Bourne Braves, Andrew Costello and Blake Schaff. Both had star seasons for Bourne before departing in the last couple weeks. The 0-1. Jeffries swings and is behind the fastball. It's an 0-2 count. 91 miles per hour, the heater out of Baird. That's where you can expect him to settle around in this outing. Round diamond for the Bourne Braves. It's Baird and his battery partner E-Step, as Baird sets at his belt and fires the 0-2. Jeffries takes it high and outside. Overbeek holds down first base. Osterhaus to his right at second. Waite, the shortstop, and Pikatowski over at short. Around the outfield from left to right, it's Matt Bolton, Rustin Rigdon, and Luke Costello. Baird, not a guy who is rushing any of his pitches, working deep into the pitch count. He goes back to first base, not in time, as Peralta slides in safely. Peralta with 17 stolen bags on the year. That's the most in the Cape Cod Baseball League. He's tied with two other players for the lead. 1-2. Peralta goes, but it's fouled away by Jeffries, and the count stays at 1-2. One of those other leaders in stolen bags is in this game. He's the two-hitter for the other team, Rustin Rigdon, with 17 bags as well. So a lot of speed between the Braves and the Commodores today. Would not be surprising to see a lot of stolen bags. Peralta takes his lead back at first, scoreless in the bottom of inning number 1. The 1-2 pitch to Jeffries. Breaking ball left high, and the count evens out. Baird had a productive freshman year with the Vanderbilt squad that missed the NCAA tournament for the first time in 20 years. Went 0-5 with a 5.2 ERA. As he readies, fires the 2-2. Peralta goes, swing the miss, strike 3. The throw down is not in time. Peralta gets his league-leading 18th stolen bag of the year, but Jeffries is down on strikes, and there's one away with a runner in second base.
Well, I think if you're Baird, you can take the stolen base because you strike out Braden Jeffries, which is pretty hard to do, and there's not a lot of other pitchers who have done that. But this is the part of the order that I'm interested to watch, because you have this pocket of players whose a little bit familiar, or a little bit unfamiliar to the Cape here. Carter White, Tommy Harrison to follow.
Left-handed Carter White, first pitch. Fastball lined out to left center field. It drops for a base hit. Peralta speeds around third. Now he stops. And a first pitch single off the bat of Carter White means the corners are occupied with just one away in the bottom of the first. Already 2 hits for this Commodores team, and the offense is alive.
Well, first pitch swinging there for Carter White, and this ball is a little bit in on the hands, but he just dumps it into left center. I think Peralta might have had a chance to score, but they instead choose the conservative decision here and just hold him at third. But especially when you got Tommy Harrison coming up, you might as well keep your ducks on the pond because we know this guy has a lot of power.
Left-handed Harrison walks into the batter's box against the righty Baird. Late kick in the first pitch. Harrison swings, lines it past the shortstop Waite. That scores 1, and it's an RBI knock from Tommy Harrison as the Commodores take a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first. Sent it opposite field just to the left of Waite over at short, and Peralta easily jogs home. A very fast start to this game for the Commodores offense.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's the power. It's not a deep fly ball, but it's a line drive, and especially when you're a lefty hitter and you can hit the ball the other way, no chance for Riker Waite at short to make a play on it. The Commodores, they need to win this game, and they're off to a good start.
Right-handed Matthew Farner takes the first pitch for a ball. It's 1-0 on the transfer portal commit to Georgia. This is the first right-handed hitter that the Commodores have in the order. 7 of the 9 hitters today in the starting 9 are lefties. 2 on, the 1-0 pitch. Farner takes the fastball on the inner third for a strike. Carter White at second base, Tommy Harrison at first. Fabio Peralta already came home to score to make this a 1-0 Commodores lead in the bottom of the first from Gov Fuller Field. Baird trying to work out some trouble. He comes home. Farner takes the 1-1 all the way for a strike. It's been upper 80s, low 90s on the heater from Baird. He's given up 3 singles across his first 4 batters faced. Checks towards second, the 1-2 pitch. Curveball hit on the ground out to short, and it gets past Waite. Around third base, Carter White slides home, and the throw is late. Another RBI knock, this time from Matthew Farner, and it's 2-0 Commodores off of their 4th single of the first inning.
Well, this one is not as hard hit as the Harrison single, but you could we had a great view of it. Third base coach Bo McMillan had a really good view. It's just a breaking ball knuckled into shallow left field, and getting the send and scoring that time is White. And there you go. Falmouth again with the RBI single, 2-0, and could see an early pitching change here.
And early mound visit for the Bourne Braves. This is a Bourne team that already has clinched its playoff spot, but is in that close race for the number 1 seed in the West that guarantees you at least 2 of 3 home games in the first and second round. The magic number at 8 points as Baird stays in the game. 2 runners on, already a 2-0 lead for the Commodores, and just 1 away for Jeff Luigi. Designated hitter, transfer portal commit to Northwestern. He's hitting .389 in his first 6 bats. No one's been able to cool down the future Wildcat. Baird checks his pitch comm, moves his glove down to his belt, and fires home. First pitch to Luigi is bounced out to second base. Osterhaus gets it, underhand flip to first, gets 1, but both runners advance, and there's 2 runners in scoring position with 2 away in the bottom of the first. Just a little bit of a rollover from Luigi. Nice job by the Alabama baseball member Osterhaus to make the 4-3 putout, but the offense continues to be productive for the Commodores.
I mean, that's a productive out. You move both runners over, so you have 2 in scoring position for Gregor. And again, the left-handed bats, so far you've already seen a couple singles from lefties. See if Gregor can keep that going.
First pitch. Gregor behind the curveball, and it's a 0-1 count. Gregor, lefty bat, number 6 of 7 in this Commodores order. Dallas Brooks, another lefty, awaits on deck. It's Tommy Harrison at third, Matthew Farner at second base. The 0-1. Gregor shows bunt, takes it away. The fastball taken outside for a ball. Slight breeze picks up at Gov Fuller Field, gusting out towards right field. 4 hits in the first inning for the Commodores. They've converted 2 runs. Is there more? Baird comes home on the 1-1. Gregor takes the fastball for a strike on the inner third, and it's a 1-2 count. Big pitch incoming. If Baird can get out of this inning with just 2 runs given up, the Commodores threatening men at second and third base with 2 away. The 1-2. Gregor swings, hits it on the ground through the hole on the left side. Harrison scores easily. They'll send Farner as well. The throw from left, not in time. Gregor tries to get second. He's out on the throw, back to the bag. But a 2 RBI knock from Gavin Gregor, and it's a loud first inning for the Commodores. 4 runs off of 5 hits, no runners stranded, and a comfortable 4-0 lead as we turn to the second inning. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Cape Cod Baseball on Cape League TV. Early offense for the Falmouth Commodores. The home team leads 4-0 over the Bourne Braves as we begin the second at Gov Fuller Field. Alongside Daniel Stein, I'm Alex Burstein. Colby Putnam returns to the mound with some surprising run support. 4 runs of insurance early on for this Commodores team as the left-hander Josiah Overbeek comes to the plate to begin this second inning. Righty-lefty matchup. Putnam turns and fires the first pitch. Breaking ball taken outside, and it's a 1-0 count on the lefty transfer portal commit to Mississippi State. Falmouth converted 4 runs off of 5 hits in the bottom of the first. Next offering. 1-0, dips into the zone on a curve, and it's a 1-1. The Braves went down in order in the top of the first. A pop out, a ground out, and a fly out. 1-1. Overbeek takes the off speed outside, and it's a 2-1 count. Overbeek, a .233 hitter through his first 14 games played with the Braves. A big second half pickup for this team. 2-1. Overbeek watches it high and outside.
Yeah, a guy who's still kind of, I think, looking for his best form. He hasn't been bad, but you know he has a lot of power in that bat.
3-1 offering. Overbeek takes it low and inside, and that's a 5-pitch walk for the first base runner of the day to Josiah Overbeek. That walk, our free pass of the game presented by Cape Cod Community College. Those who qualify can attend Cape Cod Community College for free. Every program, no tuition or fees. More information can be found at capecod.edu/free. Another switch hitter to the plate. It's Berkeley Mabius batting from the left side against the right-hander Colby Putnam. Overbeek takes his lead off of first. The first pitch fastball called for a strike, and it's no 1 count. Mabius batting just .204 on the season for this Braves team. Came around the same time as Overbeek, making his 15th appearance as time called by the umpire crew to reset the count. Putnam leans in, looks towards first base, a moderate lead by Overbeek, and the 0-1. Swing and a foul back, count even moves to 0-2. No strikeouts yet today from Putnam. All the outs have been in play by his defenders. Can he ring up the first one against the lefty Mabius? Stands tall, and the 0-2. Mabius watches the fastball high and wide, and the count moves to 1-2.
It's definitely going to be a bit of a different approach than Baird because Putnam throws pretty significantly softer, so he's going to be nibbling around the corners a little more.
1-2. Mabius swings and bounces it down the first base line. It trickles foul, and the count remains at 1-2 strikes. Just wrapped up his sophomore season at Oregon. Decided he wanted the challenge of SEC baseball. Entered the portal on June 18th, and just about a week later, moved on to Mississippi State. Now Mabius trying to make an impact in this late summer run for the Braves. The 1-2 pitch. Mabius swings, hits it hard out to center field, into the glove of Fabio Peralta. He throws back to first, but Overbeek slides in time. A missile line drive out to center, but Peralta only had to take a couple of steps in to make the grab, and there's one away in the top of the second.
Yeah, Peralta was perfectly positioned for this. I feel like if you were to calculate the expected batting average on that hit, it would be somewhere in the 700s or something. And that ball was roped off a line drive, but Peralta, I guess, was just playing in, got to it quickly, almost turned a double play.
The left-hander Justin Osterhaus comes to the plate. First pitch. Hits it in the air out to left center field. Peralta chases it back, makes the grab on the run for second out. Osterhaus, a former Falmouth Commodore last summer, and the first battle goes the way of his former team. So there's two down still. Josiah Overbeek at first base, a 4-0 lead for the Commodores in the top of the second. And it's up to Ryan Pikatowski to keep this frame going in his first at-bat with the Bourne Braves. Righty-righty matchup, first pitch. Pikatowski takes it for a strike on the inner third. Pikatowski put together one of the best seasons in the junior college ranks this past spring. As Putnam sets out his belt, a long wait, now he fires home. Pikatowski takes it high and outside. With South Carolina Sumter, had some pretty insane numbers. Hit .463 is OPS at 1,048. Numbers any baseball player will dream of. The 1-1 bounces in the dirt, and Pikatowski goes ahead, 2 balls and a strike.
I mean, he was on base over 60% of the time. That would be unheard of, basically, in any other level, and there's a reason why he's committed to a team that just made the College World Series in West Virginia for next year.
Began his summer playing with the Collegiate Barons, now with the Bourne Braves. 2-1 pitch, misses a little bit high over the letters on the Bourne Braves uniform, and it's a 3-1 count. You don't want to give Pikatowski anything in the zone. He had 25 homers this spring. The 3-1. Fastball dips into the zone, and the count full on the right-handed infielder. First plate appearance of the summer. Will it go the way of Pikatowski, or does Putnam have another clean inning in him? 4-0 Commodores, runner at first base, 2 away for the Braves. Payoff pitch, runner goes, it's hit in the air, shallow left side of the infield. Jeffress maneuvers into foul territory, backs up, and he makes the grab as he almost falls to the ground. Nice maneuvering by the third baseman, and there's another scoreless inning for the Bourne Braves. It's 4-0 as we turn to the bottom of the second. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Cape Cod Baseball on Cape League TV.
Jack it up.
We play to the bottom of the second at Gov Fuller Field. Already a 4-0 lead for the Commodores as they go to bat for the second time today. Alongside Daniel Stein, I'm Alex Burstein. Tyler Baird stays in for a second inning of work. He was rocked for 5 hits in the first inning. He hopes to change that against the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Commodores in the second. It's Dallas Brooks, the left-hander out of Central Florida, to begin things against the right-handed Baird. Tall righty, sets below his belt, rocks and the first pitch. Brooks takes it low and inside, and it's a 1-0 count. Brooks, a .269 hitter on the season, playing in his 16th game of the summer. 1-0. Brooks half swing, he fouls it to the fans over on the left side, and the count evens out at 1 apiece. It's a weird half swing. Brooks couldn't decide whether to go or not, but he makes contact with the fastball. It just slowly drifted for a souvenir. 1-1. Misses high and wide, and the count goes to 2-1.
Yeah, for a half swing, that ball really went far. It went like halfway into left field. Got to all the fans sitting on the grassy knoll over there.
2-1 offering. Brooks swings and hits it on the ground up the middle. A single to begin the second for the Commodores, and that's already hit number 6 on the day for this Falmouth team. They just are seeing Baird really well early on.
Yeah, and a lot of the contact is hard, but it's not necessarily easy hits. Like, the BABIP would be interesting to look at this, where a lot of these singles have just been ground balls through the middle, and it's not to say that Bourne isn't positioned well defensively, but Falmouth is just finding the gaps in the defense.
Right-handed Austin Maley at the plate. First pitch. He hits it on the ground. Diving stop by Pikatowski. He throws on his back to first, but it's a hair too late. Almost a highlight reel play on the first ball of the summer. Hit out to the West Virginia commit, but it's an infield single for Austin Maley, and there's 2 aboard off of hit number 7 for the Commodores already. It's just the second inning.
Yeah, this is a wild play, and Pikatowski maybe would have had a chance at second, but that was a nasty hop, and just the fact that he kept it in front of him is probably a win for Bourne, because if that ball goes into the outfield, I think you see a scenario where Brooks gets to third.
Left-hander Fabio Peralta at the plate. First a pickoff throw to second base. Dallas Brook jogs back in time. 4-0 Falmouth lead. Dallas Brooks at second. Austin Maley at first. Fabio Peralta at the plate. Baird stands tall, comes home. Peralta shows bunt and sends it foul to the left side. Peralta began the game for the Commodores with a infield single off of a bunting attempt, so he'll try to do the same thing. He now leads the Cape League with 18 stolen bags, advanced to second, and then all the way home in the first. It was the first of 4 runs for Falmouth. He shows bunt again. Next pitch, Peralta lays it foul again to the left side. First baseman Overbeek playing very in on the right side of the infield. Pikatowski over at third, just a couple feet in. He has to watch out for Dallas Brooks coming from second base. An 0-2 count on the lefty Peralta. Baird gets the sign. Waits, and the 0-2. Peralta swings, hits it in the air out to left center field, and it's into the glove of Bolton out and left. Both runners forced to retreat to their bags, and it's 1 away. Still 2 on for the Commodores, but finally some defensive momentum for this Braves team.
And that fly ball was a little weird. It comes off a little bit in on the hands, not quite getting to the sweet spot, but Bolton gets a late break on this ball, and I thought for a second it might drop in to just add more pain to Baird's day, but Bolton able to get to it. Now he's got to deal with Jeffers here with just one out.
Already a strikeout today against a left-hander. First pitch. Jeffries lines it through on the left side. Brooks stopped at third base, but the base is now loaded for the Commodores as the third baseman takes the first pitch he sees, sends it screaming the opposite way. It hasn't been extra base knocks for the Commodores, but just making contact with every pitch they see, it seems.
I mean, this is insane. I mean, you really don't see this many hits, especially in this time frame at all in the Cape League, where especially this year pitching has reigned supreme.
Left-handed Carter White at the plate. First pitch. Hit on the ground through up the middle. Brooks scores easily. Behind him, Austin Maley gets a sign to throw. Home tag applied late by the catcher Estap. A nice swerve of a slide by Austin Maley, and it is 6-0 Commodores off of their 9th hit of the day. A bang-bang play at home plate as the throw came from center field. Estep probably got it on time, but could not swipe Maley, who just a really good slide on the outside of home plate, and he touches home plate with his hand.
Well, I was looking over at Scott Landers in the dugout to see if he was going to walk out, and he motioned for Bryce Estep to go up there and just try to talk to his pitcher. I really don't know what's going on. It just, Commodores are swinging early in counts, they're swinging late in counts, and it just feels like every ball that they hit on the ground goes up the middle. They're doing a really good job of placing the hits, which is obviously something that only works to a extent in baseball. You don't exactly know where you're going to put the ball, but Commodores are doing something right. They're up 6-0.
Action begins to brew in the Braves bullpen. 9 hits, all of them have been singles for this Commodores team. They've converted 6 runs off of it. Tommy Harrison, he hopes he has the 10th hit of the day, already singled and grabbed an RBI in the first. Righty-lefty matchup, first pitch. Harrison takes an off-speed on the inner third. It's a 0-1 count. Braden Jeffries at second base, Carter White at first. Harrison, the 6th batter of the inning for the Commodores. 0-1. Harrison watches the fastball zip into the zone, and it's an 0-2 count. 346 hitter on the summer. This is his 2nd stop. Began off his 2026 offseason in the MLB Draft League before getting the call from Falmouth. 0-2. Harrison swings and fouls it back.
You got to be a little concerned here if you're Scott Landers and company about pitch count, but Baird's is not that bad. It's only sitting around 32 right now, so if he's able to roll a ground ball that gets into the glove of one of these infielders, he might be okay for the next inning.
Well, we've seen a lot of the first pitch hits. 0-2. Harrison behind the high fastball. He's down on strikes, and there's 2 away, the 2nd strikeout of the evening for Tyler Baird. That may give him some momentum. He'll need it against a 5-hitter Matthew Farner, who already has an RBI single on the evening. Righty-righty matchup. Still runners at first and second base. 2 down, a 6-0 lead for the Commodores in the bottom of the 2nd. Baird sets below his belt, looks towards second, fires home. First pitch breaking left high, and it's a 1-0 count.
It's just crazy looking at the scorebook so far because you got Jeff Luigi being the only person in this Falmouth lineup that does not have a hit.
He awaits on deck should Farner get on. The 1-0. Farner takes the breaking pitch down the middle of the zone, and it's a 1-1 count. A small slider that Baird offers. A little bit of movement catches Farner off guard. 3rd straight day that Farner has began at third shortstop, 1-1. He takes the heater for a strike, and it's a 1-2 count. Wrapped up his last season at North Florida, is headed to the Georgia Bulldogs for the 2027 season. Figures to compete for the shortstop role in the SEC. Leads off a first and second. The 1-2 pitch comes home. Curveball blasted out to right field. Costello chases it back to the track, and he can't make the grab. It rolls all the way to the fence. One run already home to score. White jogs home on his way to third base. Farner dives and is caught on the late throw. Farner out trying to stretch a double into a triple, but he does nab his second and third RBIs of the day, and it is all Falmouth through 2 innings. 8-0. The Commodores lead 4 runs off of 5 hits, no errors, and no runners stranded. 10 hits on the day for the Commodores. They go back to the field after a quick break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Cape League Baseball on Cape League TV. Let's go to the third. It's all Commodores at Gov Fuller Field. 8-0 the home team leads over the Bourne Braves. Alongside Daniel Stein, I'm Alex Burstein. Falmouth in a win-and-in scenario to get into the West Division playoffs in the Cape Cod Baseball League, and well on their way to doing so. It's been a really nice day on the mound for Colby Putnam. Has faced 1 over the minimum through 2. He begins the third inning against the 8-hitter Matt Bolton. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed hitter as we get going in the third. Putnam rocks and fires. First pitch, fastball, 88 miles per hour, misses outside, and it's a 1-0 count. Well, if there's anyone you want at the plate to kickstart a power rally, it might be Bolton. Next pitch, he hits it on the ground, bounces foul to the right side. 4 triples on the year for the Binghamton product. That is the most in the Cape Cod Baseball League. This is a Bourne team that has more triples, almost double anyone else in the league. 1-1 pitch. Bolton takes the off-speed low, and it's a 2-1 count. 11 triples on the season for Bourne through 35 games. The next most is Brewster, who only has 6. 2-1 offering. Fastball misses high and wide, and it's 3 balls and a strike on the left-handed Bolton. 241 hitter on the season. What can he do here? Putnam's pitch. Slashed on the ground right into the glove of the first baseman Harrison, who walks to the bag for the first out. Hard hit ball from Matt Bolton, but nothing that Miami, Ohio's top player can't deal with. And there's 1 down to begin the top of the third.
You can argue that's been the difference in this game between Bourne and Falmouth. And you have a hard hit ball to the right side there, but unlike Bourne's defense, Falmouth's defense was right there for it. It's not the most difficult of plays for Harrison, but let's see if Bourne can get more barrel here.
First pitch to Bryce Estep. He bounces it hard on the ground over the head of the third baseman Jeffries. And that's a single, just the first hit of the day for the Bourne Braves. Attacked the first pitch. He hit it hard into the grass, so hard that a jumping Jeffries could not make a grab on it. He's only 5'10", so didn't have that much of a leap on it, but still a very well hit ball by Estep. And there's 1 on with 1 away in the third. Left-handed Riker Waite at the plate. Putnam sets as belt, comes home. He shows bunt and bounces it over the head of the catcher Brooks for a foul ball. Overcast skies at Gov Fuller Field, a nice crowd on hand for a pivotal game for both teams, especially the Commodores, win and in to the Cape Cod Baseball League playoffs. 0-1, next pitch. Off speed, misses inside. This is a Falmouth team that missed the playoffs on the last day of the regular season in 2025. Also missed in 2024, so this would be the first appearance in 3 years. 1-1 pitch. Wait, watches the fastball miss outside, and it's a 2-1 count. The Commodores currently sit third in the West Division, 32 points, just 2 behind Hyannis. As Wait readies the 2-1. Watches the pitch outside, and it's a 3-1 count. Falmouth, with some luck, could even catch the Bourne Braves, only 7 points behind the league leaders, so win tonight would certainly help that cause. 3 balls, 1 strike. Putnam comes home. It's hit in the air out to left field. Not much room for White to move. He makes the grab out in left, and there's 2 away as ASCAP retreats back to the bag at first.
It really is interesting looking at both these divisions in terms of where everything's going to stand at the end of the regular season, because even in the East, we thought that it was a foregone conclusion that YD was going to coast along to that East Division 1 spot, but Brewster right now just 2 points behind.
Switch hitting, Rustin Rigdon bats from the left side. First pitch from the righty Baird. It goes high and wide and a 1-0 count. Yeah, surprising loss by YD last night to Hyannis means that Brewster stays within a game of the league leaders. 1-0 pitch. Fastball zips outside, and a 2-0 hitters count to Rustin Rigdon. Vanderbilt product grounded out in the first inning. It was a very clean start to the day for Colby Putnam. Had a 1-2-3 first. 2-0. Rigdon swings, blasts it into the air, but it stays shallow out in left. The shortstop Farner on the lip of the grass makes the grab for the 3rd out. A 1-out single by Bryce Estep. He is stuck there, and the Commodores continue to dominate all facets of the game. It is 8-0 Falmouth as we turn the page to the bottom of the 3rd. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Cape League Baseball on Cape League TV. Bottom of the 3rd from Gov Fuller Field, an 8-0 lead for the Commodores over the Bourne Braves as Falmouth goes back to bat against Tyler Baird in the 3rd. The Braves sticking with their starting pitcher despite 10 hits against him through the first 6 outs. And now he faces off against the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, 6, 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Commodores in the bottom of the 3rd. The lefty Jeff Luigi comes to the plate. Baird rocks and fires the first pitch. Luigi has to dive away, and the count goes 1-0 on the inside fastball. Luigi grounded out to second in his first plate appearance. 1-0 pitch. Luigi gets the pitch inside, and it's a 2-0 count. It was a really hot start to the summer for Luigi, who's in the designated hitter role tonight. 2-0 pitch. Fastball hits the inner third, and it's a 2-1 count. Hit .467 through the first week. It's come down a little bit to .389, but still excellent numbers to begin the season for the lefty. 2-1. Luigi pops it high in the air, left side, foul territory. Bolton out in left, chases it onto the hill, and watches it bounce over to some fans. Bolton's speedy out there in left, and it's a weird playing surface where there isn't fencing down the left field line, so hypothetically, he could make a catch on the hill. 2-2 pitch. Luigi swings at the curveball and misses, and he's down on strikes. Third K of the day for Tyler Baird, and there's one down to begin the third inning.
It's a nasty slider here from Baird. You know, when you want to throw those, you want to get to the kind of back shin of a left-handed hitter, and that's exactly what he does to get Luigi, who, as you mentioned, has been a very difficult hitter to retire since coming to the Cape.
Gavin Greger walks to home plate. Righty-lefty matchup. First pitch. Greger swings, blasts it to right field, and it drops for a base hit. Solid piece of hitting from the future Rutgers Scarlet Knight, and there's one on with one away in the third.
I mean, how common is this, Alex? You have 11 hits for the Doors today. So far, through not even 3 innings, 10 of them are singles, one of them a double. This is a team that doesn't hit for power a ton, and they're showing that, but they're just making a lot more contact than you would expect against a very good Bourne pitching staff.
First pitch to the left-handed Brooks. He swings and fouls it off to the right side. A sharp grounder that just missed the first base bag. It's been a weird week for this Falmouth offense. You had some of the best hitting of the season late last week. 10 runs against Chatham, 15 runs against Hyannis, and then it slowed down this past weekend. 0-1. Misses low and inside at the feet of Dallas Brooks. Against Wareham, fell 14-2 in 7 innings, and then 2 nights ago against YD at home, fell 15-1. Tonight, that switched. It's 8-0 Commodores in the third. 1-1. Blasted foul off to the left side. In that loss to YD, the Commodores only mustered 5 hits. It's only the bottom of the third. There's already 11 for this Falmouth team. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the left-handed Brooks. First, a pickoff attempt to first. Greger slides back in time. It really shows you how anything can happen in baseball on any given day. Greger, a couple practice swings in the lefty's batter's box. Brooks. And now the 1-2. Brooks swings and hits it over the head of a jumping weight at short. Hit number 12. It's a single for Dallas Brooks. And the hits just keep on coming for the Commodores. It's 8-0. Runners at first and second, and no signs of stopping as Austin Maley, the 9-hitter, comes to the plate.
I've never seen anything like this, Alex. This is like playing MLB The Show and then just turning up the user contact slider all the way. I mean, everything is not only finding the Commodores' barrel, but it's finding the outfield, and there's still only one out here with Maley out.
First pitch to Maley. Curveball misses outside. Well, you can tell the Braves definitely don't want to use a ton of pitchers tonight by the fact that Baird's still in this one, despite having given up 12 hits through 2 1/3 innings. 1 ball, no strike. Next pitch to Maley. Off speed, zips into the zone, and it's a 1-1 count. It's been a roller coaster season for Maley. 221 hitter. He's been as high as the leadoff man. Tonight, he bats as the 9-hitter. 1-1 offering. Maley checks his swing on the high heater, and the count goes to 2-1. 4 runs in the first inning for Falmouth, 4 in the second, none yet in the third, but the Commodores threatening runners at first and second base. 2-1 pitch. Maley pieces it foul behind home plate. That got the very end of his bat. Maley's a guy who knows how to command a wooden bat better than most guys in the Cape League. At his junior college, the past 2 years, he used a wooden bat. Pickoff throw to second base. Gregor jogs back in time. He's excited to have the chance to finally play with a metal bat when he goes to his next school, still undetermined for the 2027 season. But first, a few more wooden at-bats in the summer. Gregor's dancing off a second and forces Baird to throw back. Gregor back in time. It's Gavin Gregor at second base. He singled. Then the next at-bat, Dallas Brooks singled as well. The catcher stands at first. Tyler Baird on the mound. His 2-2. Maley takes the slider outside and a full count on the right-handed Maley. Maley, one of just 2 right-handed hitters in the starting 9 tonight for the Commodores. Payoff pitch. Maley behind the fastball. That's strikeout number 4 for Tyler Baird, and a big second out in the bottom of the third.
Well, I think Tyler Baird just put all of his frustration into that last pitch because he just hit 95 on there, and he goes up in the zone to retire Maley, who's a good fastball hitter as well. I mean, even after almost 3 innings of work and 12 hits given up, he's still hitting a high in terms of velocity.
Fabio Peralta at the plate. First pitch to the lefty. Peralta takes the breaking pitch low and inside, and it's a 1-0 count. Yeah, we saw the peak in the first inning for Baird to be about 93. He was sitting around 90, 91, slowly increasing his velocity despite all the hits. 1-0. Fastball hits the inner third, and the count evens out at 1 apiece. Gregor still at second base, Brooks at first. An 8-0 lead for the Commodores over the Braves in the bottom of the third. A win today, Falmouth back into the postseason for the first time since 2023. Baird readies and fires. Peralta dribbles it foul behind home plate. Baird figures to compete for a starting role with Vanderbilt in the 2027 season. He was tried a couple times as a starter, but mostly was a high-leverage reliever as a true freshman this past spring. 1-2 pitch. Hit foul to the right side. Good battle from Fabio Peralta. There's a reason he's been the leadoff man in every single game since the All-Star break. You look at any lineup card, the one consistent part is Fabio Peralta, number 14, leading off and playing in center field. He's built that role to himself. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the left-hander out of Miami. The pitch home. Peralta watches it at his face, and the count evens out at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, he is putting himself on a really good trajectory to be drafted in the 27 draft. He had a very good sophomore year at Miami, and he's having a really solid summer here.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. The pitch from Baird misses inside, and another full count. 8-0 Commodores, bottom of the third inning. It's Gavin Gregor at second base, Dallas Brooks at first, and 12 hits on the day for Falmouth compared to just 1 for Bourne. An offensive, outstanding showing from Falmouth tonight. Another payoff pitch. Runners go. The ball skips past the catcher, Estep. All the runners stop with just 1 bag, and that loads the bases on the walk to Fabio Peralta. Gregor already was starting to steal third. He got the free bag, and on the wild pitch, thought maybe, just maybe, I'll have a chance to come home. But the Commodores decide to play it safe, up 8-0, and that will be the day for the right-hander Tyler Baird. Scott Landers walks out to the mound, makes the call to the bullpen, and it'll be a new man for the Braves. Tough situation, bases loaded, 2 away when we come back. All Commodores 8-0 over the Bourne Braves. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to Cape League Baseball on Cape League TV.
Jack it up.
New man on the mound for the Bourne Braves, down 8-0 in the bottom of the third. Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field alongside Daniel Stein. I'm Alex Burstein. Connor Lehman, the left-hander out of Alabama, turns to relieve Tyler Baird after a rocky 2 2/3 innings for the right-hander out of Vanderbilt. Lehman making his 8th bullpen appearance of the year, 8 innings pitched and a 7.88 ERA. And Daniel, this certainly is a tough situation to come into with all the bases loaded.
Yeah, he's got to deal with arguably their best hitter as well in Braden Jeffries. But, you know, if you're going to be a lefty going forward in D1 college ball and beyond, you know, you have to come in these tough situations and get the toughest outs, especially considering that likely what influenced Scott Landers' decision to bring him in is the platoon matchup here. Now, Lehman's numbers on the season it's been a bit of a struggle in just 8 innings of work. He has nearly an 8 ERA, but you just need one out here. And if you can just keep getting ground balls like Baird did, might be able to get out of this inning.
Left-handed Braden Jeffries to begin Lehman's outing. First pitch. Fastball clips the inner third, and it's an 0-1 count. Gavin Gregor stands at third base. Dallas Brooks at second. Fabio Peralta at first after that last walk. 0-1 pitch. Jeffries swings at the fastball in the dirt, and he's down in the count 0-2. This would be an important out for the Braves. Falmouth hasn't scored this inning after scoring 4 in each of the first 2. 0-2 pitch. Jeffries swings, pops it up in shallow center field. Rigdon comes in, makes the grab, and the Braves retire the Commodores in the bottom of the third. Certainly some struggles for the Braves defense, but the Commodores lead the bases stranded. No runs off of a pair of hits, no errors, and an 8-0 Falmouth lead as we go to the fourth. We turn things over to Daniel Stein after a quick break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Cape League Baseball on Cape League TV.
Getting ready for the fourth here at Gov Fuller Field, where it's all Commodores through just a couple of innings. Colby Putnam returns to the mound for Falmouth with an 8-run cushion here as he faces the middle of this Bourne Braves order. Luke Costello, Josiah Overbeek, and Burke Lee Mabius will be the first three up in Scott Lander's order this inning. All three of these Bourne hitters due up without a hit, as this Brave squad only has one, as they trail 8-0 here in the top of the fourth. So here's Costello standing in. 0 for 1 today with a fly out to Gavin Greger in right field. Putnam back to his wind. He starts it, and the first pitch is roped foul off the bat of Costello. Look out in the camera well, as that one just bounced in the netting above it.
Good reflexes from those photographers. They got out of the way in a hurry.
A couple of interns for both squads hanging out there, but they're all right. 0-1. Time is called here. What is that out in right field that Gavin Greger is going to retrieve? Is that like a ball out there? It
looks like, yes, a bouncy ball, maybe a kickball.
Gavin Greger just picked up a neon green kickball with his left hand and hurled it over the right field fence. Will that be the first ball we see clear the fence this inning? We'll have to find out. 0-1. Here's the pitch to Costello. Slider taken outside at 76.
That's something you'd play with in banana ball.
That's something that the players would try to hit in banana ball. Ball and a strike, nobody out. 8-0 Falmouth here over Bourne. The 1-1 pitch to Costello. Slider picked out of the ground by the catcher Dallas Brooks. Well, Costello and his brother Andrew have just torn up the Cape so far. They're both committed to South Carolina next year. Andrew no longer with Bourne. Next pitch to Costello, ripped to left field, foul again. Look out on the grassy knoll, it lands in the trees. Both the Costello brothers spent some time at Wake Forest, were both very good there. Now moving on to be future Gamecocks. Andrew's summer is all over, and Luke is still grinding it out here with Bourne. 2-2, righty-righty. Fastball hit high into right field, foul territory. Tommy Harrison is circling, and he makes the catch near the first base line. Took a weird route to that ball. It looked like he was angling towards his own dugout and then worked his way back into fair territory. Made the catch. Costello retired. 1 out here, top 4. Brings up Josiah Overbeek, Bourne's first baseman here. After the righty Costello, the lefty Overbeek will stand in. Swinging his maple-colored bat. Wearing the elbow guard on his right elbow. Here's the first pitch from Putnam. Fastball taken upstairs. Comes in at 88. 1-0 count. No official at-bat for Overbeek today, just a walk. Jack Dom does not apply a shift for the lefty hitter. Putnam's 1-0. High fly ball into right field. It chases Peralta and Greger back, and Greger will make the catch just stepping in front of the Falmouth center fielder. That ball off the bat looked like it was maybe trouble for Falmouth, but it dies out in deep right field. Quickly 2 outs here in the fourth.
Yeah, not much wind tonight, so neither lefties or righties will be helped out too much out in center field. Overbeek probably it's a little too under that one for it to escape, but he's got a big bat, and you figure in due time we'll probably get his first home run of the summer.
2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Falmouth leads Bourne 8-0. Putnam's first offering to Burke Lee Mabius is a fastball that just misses above the zone. Mabius checked his swing and held up successfully. 8 versus 8 matchup here. Putnam in the wind. His 1-0 offering. High fastball again. This time Mabius lays off. Number 8 for Bourne is 0 for 1 today with an L8 lined out to Fabio Peralta in center field. His second plate appearance of the ballgame. Putnam's 2-0. Fastball grooved into center left field. Coming in and making the catch is the left fielder Carter White. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Colby Putnam, who just continues to cruise. He's pitched 4 innings of one-hit baseball, and we'll move things over to the bottom of the fourth. Still 8-0 Falmouth here as we get you some Tuesday night baseball here from the Gulf. Connor Lehman back out on the mound for his first full inning of work for the Bravos here, as he inherited that 8-0 deficit back in the last of the third, but he was able to get out of the jam there. He was able to strand Falmouth with the bases loaded, and now he faces the heart of the Commodores order. 2 lefties and a righty against the fellow lefty Lehman. Carter White, Tommy Harrison, and Matthew Farner to bat. An 8-0 ball game here. Falmouth has scored 4 in each of the first 2 innings, and they're looking for more here. Lehman back out on the mound to face the left fielder Carter White, who's 2 for 2 today with 2 singles and 2 RBI. First offering. Fastball misses outside at 91.
The line final now on Tyler Baird. 2 2/3 innings. He gave up 12 hits and 8 runs, all of which were earned. Did have 4 strikeouts against just 1 walk.
1-0. High fastball. He goes out and pokes it foul. Clears the trees in left field. We'll do it again at 1 apiece. 12 hits for this Falmouth team. Just 1 for Bourne. Fittingly, the 1 Braves hit is a single from the 9-hitting catcher Bryce Eastep. Lehman in the wind, the 1-1 to White. Fastball foul tipped into the glove of Eastep. Quickly 1-2 here with nobody out. Infield playing straight up. White swings the bat around and gets ready to go. Lehman's 1-2. Slider cut on and missed for strike 3. White turned in the front half and just waved at it. And Lehman picks up his first strikeout. 1 away here, bottom 4.
Yeah, Lehman's been very strict on the bottom part of the zone through his first 2 batters faced. Whether it's fastballs or sliders, he's trying to get these Commodores bats to chase, and thus far they really have. So that's his strategy, it seems.
Tommy Harrison checks in. First one lefty. Lefty curls into the zone. 82-mile-an-hour slider to get Lehman ahead. Harrison's 1 for 2 today. He's got an RBI single in the first and then struck out in the second. Another guy who's been really solid since coming to the Cape less than 2 weeks ago. Lehman's 0-1. Fastball high and tight to make it 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. 8-0. Falmouth ahead over Bourne. This game means a lot for Falmouth, not as much for Bourne, who have already clinched a spot in the playoffs. Falmouth just needs a win, and they're in. 1-1. Slider finds the zone at the knees for a strike. Quickly 1-2. Tommy Harrison just put the finishing touches on a brilliant junior year for Miami, Ohio. Hit .386 with 17 home runs. He waits on a 1-2 pitch, and the high slider hits him square in the back. So Falmouth will get a 1-out base runner here, as that pitch only came in at 74. Might have just slipped out of the hand of Connor Lehman. Either way, Commodores will take it. A man on here with 1 out for Matthew Farner.
Yeah, that's the best type of hit by pitch you can get. It's not going to hurt that much on your back, and you get a free bag. So I'm sure Harrison wanted to get a clean hit, but he'll take the bag nonetheless.
Here comes Farner, who's got a single and a double. 3 RBIs to go with it. Lefty-righty, the first one on Farner. This ball is hit well out to right field. Should be playable for Luke Costello in right field. Puts the squeeze on it for the second out. Tommy Harrison goes back to first. Still 8-0 here, as Falmouth, after a really busy first 2 innings on offense with 8 runs between those 2 innings, is just an out away from going scoreless through the last 2 frames. It'll be up to Jeff Luigi here to extend the inning. He's the only Commodore today who has not reached 0 for 2 with the fielder's choice and a strikeout. First pitch lefty-lefty. Gets in the dirt. Eastep can't find it. It's actually standing between the home plate umpire's legs, and taking second is Tommy Harrison. It's going to be interesting to see what they rule that. That ball was in the dirt. It didn't necessarily get past Eastep. It just got basically a step behind his ankle. Either way, Tommy Harrison's in scoring position. So 1-0, 2 outs, runner on second. Pitch to Luigi. Slider clips the zone on the outer half to make it 1-1.
Still waiting the scoring. I guess would be wild pitch. I think it's the closest of the ones you could say.
Ball and a strike with 2 outs. Lehman looks back, now in. Here's the pitch. Luigi takes one in the dirt. That one gets away from Eastep, but Harrison's going to stay at second. 2-1 here with 2 outs. You got the right fielder Gavin Greger on deck and the designated hitter Jeff Luigi at the plate. Falmouth ahead by an 8 spot. Pass ball. You know, I can see that. It's not really a wild pitch. Lehman's 2-1 on Luigi. Fastball high chopped, gloved by the lefty pitcher Lehman, who's going to race to the bag himself and step on first base. So that ends the inning. Lehman works around a 1-out hit by pitch, and we've played 4 here at Gov Fuller Field. Commodores with a commanding lead, 8-0 Falmouth over Bourne as we head to the 5th.
Jack it up.
Start of the 5th here at the Gov, where the home Commodores have been putting on a show here for the fans in Falmouth. 8-0 Falmouth leads Bourne. Thanks so much for tuning in here to Tuesday Night Baseball. Daniel Stein joined by Alex Burstein, our great producer Dan Papillo between us. And here we go for Colby Putnam's 5th inning of work. He's going to face lefty, righty, lefty, starting with Justin Osterhaus, the second baseman for Bourne. Here's the first pitch from the wind. Osterhaus swings and misses, going down to a knee to chase the ball in the dirt. Osterhaus is a fun story. Last year, he played with Falmouth, so he's pretty familiar with the Gov. 0-1. The lefty swings and rips it to the right side. Diving stop by Austin Maley. He gets up but can't keep the ball in his glove. And so there's no throw. Osterhaus is on first. Be interesting to see how they score that. In my book, that would be a single, but I could see the argument for an error. Either way, Maley really reached out to keep that ball from going into right field.
Yeah, it was a diving stop, and he's not playing all too close to first base. They do give it as a hit to Osterhaus. Nice effort from Maley.
First one on Ryan Piketowski. Just misses inside, almost brushes him. So they do rule it a hit. Osterhaus is on first. Piketowski 0 for 1 today with a pop out to Braden Jeffress at third. Putnam's 1-0. He's going to step off and check on Osterhaus. Osterhaus over there at second, or at first I should say, has a lot of speed. Stolen 31 bags in his 3 years of playing college ball. The 1-0. Inside again on the Bourne third baseman.
You know, it's interesting. Putnam talked after his last start about how his kind of philosophy is just throw pitches in the zone and let the fielders do the rest of the work. And that is exactly what he's done tonight.
2-0. Piketowski takes a fastball at the top of the zone. Comes in at 88, much to the chagrin of the members of the Bourne dugout. 2-1, nobody out. Runner on first. It's Justin Osterhaus. 2-1 pitch from Putnam. Slider misses just outside. That velocity has trailed off a little bit for Putnam. That fastball at the beginning of the game was 88 to 89. Now it's coming in at around 86. Let's see what he can do against a JUCO star and Ryan Piketowski. Putnam taking his time. His 3-1 pitch. Drilled into left field, but right at Carter White. He makes the catch for the first out. Returning back to first base is Osterhaus. That ball was smoked, but perfectly positioned was the Falmouth left fielder.
And that's not the first time tonight we've said that. A couple of balls similarly hit the way of Fabio Peralta out in center field. So definitely Falmouth's had the offensive edge, but just a ton of unlucky moments for the Bourne Braves on offense tonight.
Gives way to another power hitter here in Matt Bolton. Righty-lefty, Putnam's first offering. Grounded to second, gloved by Austin Maley. He flips to second for the force, and back to first. That's a 4-6-3 double play. So Maley makes up for his dropped ball at the beginning of the inning, and Falmouth gets out of it facing the minimum. Nicely done by the Commodores defense. They got an 8-0 lead. Commodores trying to win and in as we go to the bottom of the fifth here on Cape League TV. Halfway through the fifth here at the Gov with Falmouth leading Bourne 8-0, and Scott Landers is making a pitching change. He goes from the lefty to the righty on the mound to bring in the Mississippi State Bulldog. Alex, it's Maddox Webb taking the mound.
Yeah, Webb, a newcomer to this Braves team, making just his second appearance of the summer. Went 2 innings in his first one, gave up 1 earned run, nothing too poor form out of the right-hander. You'll see him sit in the low 90s with his fastball, 91 to 93, but his real good pitch, a mid-80s slider that catches a lot of batters off guard, operates with a cutter as well. So that 3-pitch mix is how he will try to keep this at just an 8-run deficit for the Braves.
He gets the bottom third of Jack Dom's order here. Gavin Greger, Dallas Brooks, and Austin Maley will hit lefty, lefty, righty. This has been a productive part of a productive day for the Doors. 8-0 on 12 hits compared to 0 runs for Bourne and just 2 knocks. With the third pitcher being used by a Bourne team that is normally very effective pitching-wise. This Bourne team coming into this game had a 3.06 ERA. That's second in the Cape League. They give up the fewest home runs. They give up the fewest hits. But yet this Braves team is having a really hard time.
Well, they just announced over the loudspeaker here that the Hyannis Harbor Hawks beat the Katuitt Cavaliers, and that means that this Falmouth team has clinched the playoffs before this game is even over.
So they might have been on the way to clinching, but now they have officially clinched. First time since 2023 that the Doors are going to the postseason. First pitch on the lefty, Gavin Greger, is swung on and missed at 91 up in the zone. Maddox Webb's a fun story, too. He was pretty good at Mississippi State this season. 25 innings pitched, all with a sub-4 ERA. Before that, he spent 2 seasons at the Citadel out of the SoCon. Webb's 0-1. Greger shows bunt. He lays one down the third base line. Picking it is the third baseman, Piketowski. He doesn't even throw. Unlucky number 13th hit here for the Commodores, and it comes on a bunt single. So Gavin Greger's greeting to the new arm is just plopping one down the third base line. Alex, there's just nothing the Bourne third baseman can do about that.
And that was the same way that the Commodores greeted the starter today, Tyler Baird. Fabio Peralta laid down a bunt against the starter for the Braves, was able to advance on the infield single. So really the strategy seems you have a new arm into the game, they may be a little antsy, test them out with the bunt, and so far it's worked 2 of 2 times.
Righty-lefty now with the catcher Dallas Brooks up at the plate. First one misses in the dirt, gets away from the catcher, E-step. Going over to second is Gregor, and in time is Gregor to the bag. Riker Waite, the shortstop, does not apply the tag. Likely going to be a wild pitch there on Maddox Webb. Of course, we've already seen in this game a good debate over whether it should be a pass ball or a wild pitch. Either way, Gavin Gregor standing in scoring position. 8-0 Falmouth over Bourne. Here in the bottom of the 5th as the sun sets at the Gov and the lights turn on. 1-0 here on the lefty Dallas Brooks, who's got 2 singles today. Webb's 1-0. Fastball grooved just inside. 92 out of Webb's right hand.
You got it right. Wild pitch.
Wild pitch is the call.
You're 2 for 2 tonight.
I'll take it. Not too bad. Hitters count 2-0 with nobody out. Runner on second. Webb's pitch. Brooks checks his swing, takes a fastball up high. Third base umpire Glenn Stewart says he held. 3 balls and no strikes with Austin Maley waiting on deck. Like Maley, he's got that bright pink bat weight on his wooden bat, waiting for his next at-bat. 3-0. Brooks takes a hack and misses. So he had the green light, but came up empty on the high fastball. 3 balls and a strike now. It's always fun to see the different gear that these players use, especially the guys in the portal. You don't know whether they're going to wear their old school stuff or their new schools. Webb's 3-1 pitch. Brooks takes a fastball for a strike. Boy, that was a late strike call from Robert Melms behind the plate. I think it was the right call, but that was about as late as I've seen an umpire call that. Well, anyway, we'll keep playing. Gregor on second with nobody out. 3-2 count here on Dallas Brooks. Webb's pitch. Fastball fouled straight back into the netting. The scouts and analytics interns don't even flinch. We'll do it again full. Brooks steps back into the left-handed batter's box, taps the plate 2 times, takes a practice swing, and gets ready to go. The 3-2 pitch from Webb. Fastball grounded foul. I think it went off the plate. It landed in fair territory down the first base line, about a quarter of the way, but Robert Melms behind home plate ruled it foul. Do it again full.
Yeah, the general trend has been relaxed calls from the umpire crew. And because of that, the Bourne defense thought they had a play on that as well.
3 umpires tonight, not super animated. So Gregor's on second. He singled to lead off, then advanced. Another 3-2 pitch here for Maddox Webb. Fastball taken upstairs for ball 4. Good at bat there from the Falmouth catcher. And that's first and second with nobody out for the Doors. Here comes Austin Maley, who's got, you guessed it, a single today.
Yeah, Maley was part of that big second inning rally for the Commodores that saw them place another 4 runners home. He's been a solid hitter this year. Numbers won't show it in the batting average, but he's top 20 in the league in on-base percentage.
He's putting together an impressive campaign. Still deciding where he's going to play next. First and second, nobody out. First pitch, righty-righty, is fouled away. Caroms off the maroon padding that's right in front of the bricks that surround the infield here at the Gov. Everything is color coordinated here at Gov Fuller Field. The padding color matches the fence color. 0-1. Webb raised his leg but then turned around to face Gregor at second, who returns to the bag. Brooks on first. Maley at the plate. Swinging a Falmouth-colored bat. The maroon barrel. Gregor got a huge lead. The 0-1 pitch taken low and inside. Gavin Greger at second base was probably halfway down the line, but he returned to the bag. He would have gotten third easily if he took off. Top of the order on deck with Fabio Peralta. Would be the fourth time through. Webb's 1-1. Melee takes a fastball eye level. Comes in at 91. He's ahead in the count, 2 balls to a strike.
Well, I think with all the Mississippi State Bulldogs that have come through this year for Falmouth, the Maroon has to be good luck.
It must be. Must be today. They got 8 runs. 2-1 with nobody out. Webb's pitch. Fastball taken outside. 3 balls and a strike. Webb is a ball away from loading the bases here for Peralta. Falmouth already ahead 8-0 here, and it's only the bottom of the 5th. The famed Bourne offense has not been able to do much today. First and second, here's the 3-1 pitch. Fastball taken upstairs for ball 4, and Melee tosses his maroon bat aside to take his base. All 3 ducks on the pond here as Bryce Eastep, the catcher for Bourne, will check in with his pitcher as they both walk up to the mound. It's going to be bases loaded, nobody out here for Fabio Peralta. Meanwhile, that Bourne bullpen right now is not exactly getting anything going. Scott Landers today has had a pretty long leash for all of his pitchers. He left Tyler Baird in through 2 2/3 innings. He gave up 12 hits and 8 earned runs. Connor Lehman pitched the next inning in a third. He went scoreless, striking out 1. And now here's Maddox Webb, who finds himself in some trouble. So the mound visit over as Eastep returns to behind home plate, and Fabio Peralta stands in. 4th time through the order after back-to-back walks to end off the Commodores' rotation. Bases loaded, no one out. Righty-lefty. Webb's first pitch. Peralta takes a fastball at the knees for strike 1.
It's a tough stretch where you have 6 games in 6 days to end out the regular season. So if you can only use 2 or 3 arms, it's definitely the ideal scenario if you're Bourne.
Webb in his first inning of work. His 0-1 to Peralta. Fastball outside. A little bit high as well. Peralta today has reached twice in 3 plate appearances. He had a single to start off the bottom of the first, then walked in the third. Becomes clearer why Jack Dahm likes him at the top of the order. 1-1 with him loaded. Webb's pitch. Peralta takes the slider that bends into the zone. Fabio didn't like that call. Turned his head away from home plate umpire Robert Melms. Looked back at his dugout. Puts 2 hands on his black and maroon bat. Gets ready to go. Swinging those Miami orange batting gloves. Bases are loaded with Falmouth up by 8. The 1-2 coming up here to Peralta. Here it is. Breaking ball knuckled down the third base line. It gets past the glove of the third baseman Piketowski, and it allows Greger to score. Everyone moves station to station. It's 9-0. As the Doors have not only slammed that door open, they're practically breaking the hinges at this point, and they're a run away from being up by double digits.
Yeah, weird bouncing ball out to third. Piketowski dived and just mistimed a little bit. It looks like it hit off the arm lower part near his hand and just ricocheted right behind him. No chance for a play at home. So the fortunes continue to count up for this Falmouth team.
Goes in the book as a single. Bases still loaded for Braden Jeffress. First pitch bounces off the chest plate of Bryce Eastep for ball 1. Goes out to collect it. It's going to sound like a broken Commodore record there, but I was going to say it was interesting to see how they will score it. It does not go in the book as an error, so another hit for the Doors. 14 today for Falmouth. 1-0 coming up. Jeffress batting lefty at the plate. Webb's 1-0. Jeffress takes one up and in, had to back away from it.
I think the most impressive thing is, of these 14 hits, 13 of them have been singles, and the one that wasn't, it's marked as a double for Farner, but he was out advancing to third on the same play. So they've really only had singles today.
2-0, hitters count. Webb's pitch. Jeffress swings away, pops it up. Center field playable for Rustin Rigdon. He will make the catch, tagging up, and coming home is Dallas Brooks, and he's in without a throw. 10-0. Commodores get into double digits, this time on the sac fly from Braden Jeffress, who joins the party with an RBI. Well, Alex, I think you'll take that if you're Maddox Webb. You do get an out, but with the bases loaded, you know, there's a lot of different scenarios where the ball gets put in play where the run comes around to score.
He seems to be a little less reliant on his fastball after that mound visit, throwing some more of his off-speed stuff and placing it well, so at least a small good sign for the righty.
Carter White stands in. First and second, one out. He takes a first pitch fastball that runs in. Before Jeffress, that was the first 4 in the inning had all reached for the Commodores. Jeffress broke that streak, but you'll take it with the sac fly. 1-0, the pitch from Webb. Popped up, left side of the infield. The third baseman, Ryan Piketowski, gloves it on the dirt and makes the catch for the second out. So White is retired. Here comes Harrison. 4th straight lefty to bat for this Falmouth lineup. $10-0 Commodores now. The fans, who are pretty well represented here at the Gov, but spread out, have been treated to quite the game here. Falmouth entered this game needing a win to clinch. They now have already clinched because of Hyannis' victory over Katuitt. First and second with 2 outs. Righty-lefty, the first pitch to Tommy Harrison. Checks the swing and takes a strike right through the heart of the zone. 0-1. Harrison today has a RBI single, a strikeout, and a hit by pitch. Can the Doors get their 15th hit? Got first and second here. 0-1. Breaking ball hovers into the zone, and Harrison takes quickly 0-2. Austin Maley on second with Fabio Peralta on first. 2 runs in already this inning. Webb's 0-2 pitch. Harrison watches a fastball near his ankles. Ball and 2 strikes. The Doors are just trying to give even more run support for Colby Putnam, who is slated to pitch the next inning. He's pitched 5 innings of shutout ball, only allowing 2 hits. Tommy Harrison wants to give him more insurance. 1-2 with 2 outs. Webb's pitch. Harrison grounds it to the right side, gloved by the first baseman Overbeek, who will flip it to the pitcher Webb, who steps on the bag. Well, that ends the inning. Falmouth gets another 2 runs, first on an RBI single from Fabio Peralta, and then on a sac fly from Braden Jeffress. We've played 5 complete here at Gov Fuller Field. We're headed to the 6th year on Cape League TV. All Commodores here, 10-0 over Bourne. Starting out the 6th here at Gov Fuller Field on a beautiful Tuesday night for baseball. It has been quite the beautiful night for this Falmouth Commodores squad. They lead by double digits. 10-0. The Doors lead the Bravos. And the Bourne lineup coming out to hit against Colby Putnam, who has been absolutely dealing on the mound. He will face 9-1-2 in this Braves lineup, and it starts with the right-handed hitting catcher, Bryce Eastep. Braves being out hit 14-2. They're running out of chances to keep this game going. First pitch, righty-righty, hits Eastep square in the bottom of the back. Only came in at 85, and Eastep, who has one of 2 Bourne hits today, will reach for the second time, this time on a hit-by-pitch.
And just the second free pass offered by Putnam today. He's been really solid. 2 hits, and now a walk and a hit by pitch. You have to imagine they'll try to stretch him out for at least this inning, maybe even one more. Get the quality start.
So is that what wakes the Bourne offense up? First pitch to the leadoff man, Riker Waite, is snared down the right field line, gets past the glove of the first baseman, Harrison. Going over to third and staying there is Eastep. Waite settles into first with a single. And so now the Bravos have runners on the corners. So here you go. Rustin Rigdon, the 2-hole hitter, will bat with a chance to get the Braves on the board for the first time today.
And kind of copying the strategy of the Commodores, just keep it on the ground, but find those gaps in the infield. It's a little bit of an area over at first where you can squeak that one past Harrison. He's a good defender, but they find it.
First and third for Rustin Rigdon. Nobody out here, top 6. 10-0 Doors. First one from Putnam. Fastball just misses below the zone. And to reiterate, I mean, this has been a masterclass on offense from Falmouth, but they only have 1 extra base hit. That was from Matthew Farner in the second, and he was thrown out trying to go for third on that play. 1-0 on the switch hitting Rigdon. Here it is. Runner takes off for second, and now they got him in a rundown. Eastep's going to try to come home. He's tagged out by Dallas Brooks. Man, that is just not what you want here for Bourne. That was well executed at first because Riker Waite took off for second. He had the stolen base, but Brooks pump faked, caught Eastep in no man's land, and they run him down and wipe him off the base paths.
Yeah, you see that work once or twice every Major League Baseball season. I know the Cubs did it last year, but it's very hard to execute the double steal, and good job out of the Commodores to see it.
2-0. Rigdon watches one outside.
So what's the scoring on that? 2-5-2?
2-5-2. A lot of interesting scoring decisions in this game, but me and Burr on top of it. 3-0, 1 out, the pitch to Rigdon. Right down the middle for strike 1. Rustin Rigdon today has a ground out and a pop out. Even though he's been a fantastic hitter this season for the Braves. 260 average heading into this game, 16 RBI. Runner on second, that's Riker Waite. Putnam looks in, his 3-1 pitch. Rigdon lines it into center field. That's going to get down for a hit. Peralta comes up throwing. Staying up at third is Riker Waite. So that puts runners back on the corners here, now with 1 out. Second hit of the inning here for the Braves. And good opportunity here for Luke Costello to try to get Bourne on the board.
Definitely the best the offense has looked all day long for the Braves. Some simple hits. You do obviously really wish you had that stolen base attempt back because it could be bases loaded right now with no outs, but they'll take anything to get a run on the board here.
That run would have scored if he was still on third. First one on Luke Costello is taken for a strike. Fastball at 88. Colby Putnam, the only Commodore pitcher to be used so far in this game. Just past 60 pitches. Rigdon on first, Waite on third. 0-1 on Costello. Putnam steps off and throws over to first. Rigdon in safely. These are arguably the 2 fastest players on this Bourne team. Riker Waite has a pretty long track record of stealing a lot of bases, both in his summer ball and collegiate ball in the spring. 0-1 on Costello. Runner takes off for second. Eastep doesn't throw, and this time Waite returns to third. So stolen base for Rustin Rigdon. That's his 18th as him and Fabio Peralta continue to duke it out for first place in the Cape League standings. Second and third, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. 10-0 Falmouth. Bourne trying to get in the scoring column. Jack Dom brings his infield in. The 1-1 pitch to Costello. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. Waite scores easily. Rigdon will be held at third, and Bourne's on the board. Luke Costello with his 21st RBI of the season, and it's 10-1. So, Alex, it wasn't pretty, but in the end, Bourne's big bats come through, and they get a run closer.
Yeah, and shades of how a lot of those first and second inning runs were scored for the Commodores, just placing the ball hard up the middle. You have some tough plays for the second baseman and shortstop. Neither of them can get it this time, Farner and Maley. And obviously it's a long way back, but this is a Bourne Braves team that traditionally has played a lot better in the back half of games, so the first step to what would be an insane comeback.
Time on the field here as Dallas Brooks walks up to the mound to talk to Colby Putnam. Even if Putnam freezes his game right now, I mean, he's working with a really good body of work. He's pitched 5 1/3 and just gave up his first run. Still got a lot of cushion to play with here. It's 10-1. And now Jack Dom's going to walk out there. So after Brooks went up to the mound, Dom walks out to the mound. And this could spell the end here for Putnam. He gets fist bumps from his infield, daps up his catcher, and gives the ball to his manager, Jack Dom. So that will take us to a quick break here as Falmouth go into the bullpen. A nice round of applause for Colby Putnam. Bourne gets on the board. It's still 10-1 Commodores here in the top of the 6th. Jack Dom making a change here for the Commodores. They already lead 10-1, but Bourne is starting to get there offensively. They just cashed in their first run of the game, courtesy of a Luke Costello single. And now with the runners on the corners and one out here in the 6th, it's Fisher Cantrell, the first man out of the Falmouth bullpen.
Yeah, Cantrell, right-hander, just wrapped up his sophomore year with Jacksonville State and is now headed to Missouri State, where pitching coach for the Commodores, Paul Evans, had a long time coaching. Cantrell's been a solid bullpen arm for this Commodores team, a 2.84 ERA, 5 appearances now, all out of the bullpen. So trying to keep this, settle things down. Bourne has started to make its offensive push, but you have a 9-run cushion. Just get a quick out or two, and Falmouth will be back comfortable.
Luke Costello on first, with Rustin Rigdon on third. The lefty Josiah Overbeek at the plate. First one righty-lefty, misses in the dirt, picked out by Dallas Brooks. Overbeek today 0 for 1 with a walk. Meanwhile, on the mound, you can expect a 5-pitch mix from Cantrell. Fastball, cutter, slider, curveball, changeup. Fastball topping out at 95. His 1-0 pitch. Overbeek gives this one a ride into deep right field. Giving chase is Gavin Greger. He looks up, and this ball is gone. A 3-run shot for Josiah Overbeek, and Bourne gets ever closer. We were wondering when his first home run was going to get here, and it comes in the 6th inning. A 4-spot put up by the Braves with just 1 out in the inning, 10-4.
When we said on that last fly out to center field that it looked like he had the swing, just got a little bit under the ball. This time he just had 2-zip barrel of the bat. And Gavin Greger out in right field knew pretty quickly it was gone. A nice piece of hitting, and all of a sudden you look up and 6 runs, not the worst deficit for the Braves.
First one on Berkeley Mabius. He shows bunt and takes outside at 83. Well, Overbeek was someone who really turned heads with his power this past season as an Army Black Knight. Hit 17 home runs, led the Patriot League. 1-0 on Mabius. Fastball taken outside. The guy who just hit the home run and the guy at the plate right now are future college teammates. They're both headed to Mississippi State out of the transfer portal. Mabius spent his last couple of seasons as an Oregon Duck. The 2-0. Mabius swings and misses at the high fastball. Mabius has been traveling across the country since playing baseball. He's a guy who grew up in Nevada, went to a really good baseball school in Bishop Gorman, went out west to Oregon. Now here he is on the Cape. 2-1. Here's a drive into right field. It's going to send Greger and Peralta back again. Greger still going back. He makes the catch on the wall. So that ball tattooed as well, but it will stay in the yard. It's a loud second out here at the Gov as this crowd was treated to a really good first couple of innings, but now Bourne has started to put the pressure, especially with these last 2 balls that have been hit. They've now shortened that deficit to just 6. Justin Osterhaus checks in here with 2 outs. Top of the 6th, 10-4, Commodores lead. First one on the lefty. Foul tipped into the glove of Brooks for strike 1.
And the big difference, your first 4 guys in the lineup, they started off the day a combined 1 for 7 with a walk. This inning, single, 3-run shot.
Nothing in 1, 2 outs. Cantrell's pitch, breaking ball, clubbed down the left field line, foul. Young fan will go track it. Quickly 0-2 here on Osterhaus, who's got a single today as well as a line out. Cantrell, as Alex mentioned, heading to Missouri State next season. Nothing in 2. His delivery, high fastball taken upstairs. 1-2 count. Cantrell spent a couple of seasons at Jax State. That was a really interesting team this past season. They went 48-15, won the CUSA championship, and played in a regional. His 1-2 pitch. Osterhaus swings and misses at a breaking ball in the dirt, and that ends the inning. But not before the Braves get on the board in a big way. First, an RBI single from Luke Costello, then a 3-run homer from Josiah Overbeek brings this one a little bit closer. 10-4 Commodores lead here after 5.5. Don't go away. You're listening to some Tuesday Night Baseball here on Cape League TV.
Jack it up.
Bottom of the 6th here at Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, where it hasn't been the best night for the Bourne Braves. They trail 10-4 to the home Commodores, but they just got some help from their offense. They put up a 4 spot, and now Scott Landers dips back into his bullpen to get the right-handed pitcher Jackson Kircher out of the pen.
Yeah, Kircher's been one of the top arms in the Cape League this summer. He really knows how to fill up the zone, was an all-star this past summer, or this summer I should say, in the Cape League, and just really has good control of his pitches. Didn't have a ton of control with the Arkansas Razorbacks this past spring. Came to the Cape, wanting to shore that up, and he has done so.
Faces Matthew Farner to start things off. 5, 6, and 7 in the Commodore order. She's had a good night offensively. 14 hits for the Doors. Righty-righty matchup as Kircher starts out in the wind. Big leg kick, the first pitch. Fastball fouled away. That pitch comes in at 94. Farner today is halfway to the cycle. He's got a single and a double, as well as 3 RBI. Kircher gets set, holds that glove out pretty far from his face, and starts his wind. The 0-1. Fastball fouled away, goes over our heads, and will just miss the metal fence that encloses Gov Fuller Field. Nothing in 2 with nobody out here, bottom 6. 20 combined hits from these two teams. And it's Falmouth ahead by 6. Kircher peers in. Gets the sign, starts his wind. The pitch to Farner. Breaking ball, cold, strike 3, froze him. And on 3 pitches, Kircher collects his first strikeout. Farner goes back to the dugout, 1 away here in the 6th.
You know, we talked about the control that Kircher has, just dials up that perfect breaking pitch. He is a 1.08 ERA, and this is now his 11th appearance of the summer. So not only is he maybe the most trusted bullpen arm for this Bourne team, he might be the most consistent as well, and he's showing why here early.
Faces a lefty here in Jeff Luigi. He's hitless today in 3 tries. First pitch, swung on and missed. Change up there, draws a wave and an empty swing. Luigi swinging kind of a faded green apple colored bat. It's interesting because it doesn't really go with either of his school's colors. Started out at Duke, now going to Northwestern. Not a lot of green in those 2 teams. A 1 pitch. Fastball just does not miss and gets called for a strike. Comes in at 95. Another late strike call. 0-2 here with 1 out. Luigi, Falmouth's designated hitter. He's got the oven mitt in his back left pocket. Stands in his squatted stance. Kircher ready. His 0-2. Fastball fouled away. Comes in at 96. Some more housekeeping. You can close the book officially on Colby Putnam, the Falmouth starter. Goes 5 1/3, allowing just 5 hits. 3 runs, all of them earned. Walks 1, doesn't strike out any. Still a pretty good start. He's in line for the win as well. Nothing in 2. Kircher's pitch. Luigi swings and misses. Tightly wound slider in the zone, but he couldn't get more than one single strand of the lumber on it, and it's quickly 2 outs in the inning. Kircher's got back-to-back strikeouts.
And that's what makes him so good. You go from a 96-mile-per-hour heater that Luigi's able to get a bat on, and then you couple it with that nasty 86-mile-per-hour wipeout slider. Knows how to set up his pitch as well, and 2 strikeouts against 2 batters faced.
See if Gavin Gregor can put one into play here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. 10-4, Bourne down. First pitch on Gregor misses inside. He had to scoot his feet out of the way. 1-0 here with 2 outs. Gregor waits for the catcher Estep to throw back to Kircher and then goes to the other batter's box. He had to move so far out of the way of the pitch that his momentum took him into the right-handed batter's box. Now he takes to the left side. 1 ball, no strike. Kircher from the wind. Fastball fouled away. Goes into the forest that sits behind Gov Fuller Field. Ball and a strike with 2 outs. Infield straight up. Sun pretty much fully set, and the lights shining bright here at the Gov. Gregor rests that black bat on his left shoulder and waits on a 1-1 pitch from Kircher. Fastball taken low and inside at 96. This Falmouth team has scored runs in the first, second, and fifth innings. It's been a consistent offensive showing for him, but not a ton of powerful hits, just one extra base hit. 2-1 on Gregor. Breaking ball taken low and inside. Once again, Gregor had to move his leg out of the way.
You know, it's interesting. Gregor's shin guard is pointed towards the catcher right now. I'm not sure how much that would help if a pitch actually were to come towards his leg.
Normally those shin guards are pointed towards the opposite dugout, so Gregor, being a lefty, would face the Bourne dugout, but it's a good find there, Alex. Kircher's 3-1 pitch, taken in the dirt for ball 4. Comes in at 94, Gregor lays off and works a 2-out walk. Good stuff for Gavin Gregor today. He's reached in all 4 of his plate appearances. First he had 3 singles through the first 5 innings, and now he's got a walk. So he's doing a lot of good stuff for his on-base percentage, as is Dallas Brooks, who bats now 2 for 2 today, as well with a walk. Third straight lefty to bat here in the 6th. Kircher gets the sign from his pitch comm and will now deal out of the stretch. His first offering. Brooks takes a fastball for a strike. A little bit softer on that last pitch. Comes in at just 92. Again, a pivotal game here in the Cape League season as we are in the final week of the regular season. Bourne atop the West Division is already clinched. Falmouth is very close. Kircher's going to step off and throw over. In safely is Gregor. Of course, this is a Bourne team that really should be no surprise that they're atop of the West Division, the reigning Cape League champs. 2 outs, Kircher steps off and checks on Gregor again, but Gregor in there safely. Scott Landers has been incredibly successful for the Braves in just his 4 complete seasons in Bourne. He's won the Cape League Championship 3 times, 2022, 23, and 25. Even in that year he didn't win, he still made the championship. Kircher's going to step off a 3rd time. It hits Gavin Gregor and rolls close to the Falmouth dugout, but Gregor is still down. Not exactly sure where that ball got him. I think it was somewhere on the leg. Gregor holding his right knee. That one's going to sting.
And he's back up walking. Looks like he's okay. He shakes off Jack Dahm, who was coming out of the dugout to see him. And like you said, probably just one of those that once you walk it off, it starts to feel a little bit better and hopefully no actual damage done.
That was the 3rd consecutive time that Kircher threw over, and that was the least accurate of his 3 throwbacks to first. That one was in the dirt. It bounced off Overbeek's glove and got a piece of Gavin Gregor, but it looks like he's going to stick with it. This is a guy who's played a ton of baseball in his college career. Played just short of 160 games across a couple of seasons at Bryant. He's now on first base. 0-1 pitch on Dallas Brooks. Swung on and missed on a fastball right down the middle. 0-2. Gregor, as Alex mentioned earlier today, is on his way to the Big Ten. He'll play at Rutgers next season, so a pretty short drive from Rhode Island to New Jersey. 0-2, Kircher 1 strike away. His pitch to Brooks, high fastball misses upstairs. Bryce Estep had to stick his glove high up in the air to keep that one from going behind him. Ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. 10-4, Falmouth leads Bourne. Kircher's 1-2. Brooks takes one in the dirt. It bounces off the right shoulder of Estep and briefly gets away, but Gregor scampers back to first.
That's what Kircher's been doing. He threw back-to-back fastballs, thought he could get the chase from Brooks on a breaking pitch, but really good plate patience here from the Central Florida product, who already has 3 reaches today. You can see why.
2-2, 2 outs. Gregor on first. Kircher comes set. 2-2, he deals. Brooks swings and foul tips it into the glove of Estep, and that's the 3rd out. Well, Kircher gets a 2-out walk, but also gets all 3 of his outs via the K. We've played 6 complete innings here at Gov Fuller Field. Score stands 10-4 with the Commodores leading the Braves. Stick around, we got the 7th inning and more coming up next here from the Gov on Cape League TV. Ten to 4 Commodores here as we welcome you back to Gov Fuller Field. As Fisher Cantrell back out on the mounds here. It's been a good night for the Commodores, getting very close to clinching a playoff spot here as the Cape League enters its final week of the regular season. Glad you could join us here from Gov Fuller Field on a Tuesday night. Beautiful night for baseball here. Daniel Stein joined by Alex Burstein as Cantrell back out on the mound to face the final 3 in this Braves order. Ryan Piketowski, the 3rd baseman, first up. Righty-righty matchup. Cantrell from the wind. His first pitch. Piketowski watches a fastball on the outside corner at 88. His line today 0 for 2. A pop out and a line out. No shift being applied by the Falmouth defense. Cantrell gets the sign, holds the glove up near his face. His 0-1. Slider curls into the zone. It's quickly 0-2. Cantrell's a bit of an imposing presence on the mound. 6'5", 185. He's got the high socks as well, which I think makes him look a little bit taller. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball taken low and in the dirt.
Were you a hike your pants up guy when you played Little League or no?
I was not. I was concerned about burning my leg as I took off for second base because, of course, I was a burner on the base pass.
Okay, so you're the speedster.
I was the utility man. I won't lie and call myself the speedster after I just did a second ago. 1-2, nobody out. Cantrell's pitch. Breaking ball checks his swing to Piketowski, and he strikes out. Tag applied by the catcher, Brooks. Cantrell picks up his 2nd strikeout of his outing. Quickly 1 away here in the top of the 7th.
And we talked about that knockout slider that Cantrell has and throws it right there. Piketowski, his first day facing off against Cape pitching, and he's starting to learn things come a little bit harder against D1 pitchers than they did in the JUCO ranks.
A lot of good pitching here on the Cape. Matt Bolton knows about it. Here's the first pitch, righty-lefty. Swings and foul tips it into the glove of Dallas Brooks. 0-1. 1 out in the top of the 7th, 10-4. Falmouth leads Bourne. Good night for the Doors. 0-1 on the Binghamton product, Bolton. Here it is. Here's a drive deep into right field. Chasing Gregor back to the wall. He looks up, and this ball is out of here. Matt Bolton makes it 10-5 on a frozen rope over the right field fence. That ball was absolutely crushed, and the only question was going to be if it was fair or foul, but in the end, it's Bolton who wraps it around the pole and gets the Braves just a run closer on his second home run of the year.
Yeah, and the Braves just seeing the ball really well out of the hands of Cantrell. He entered tonight with no home runs given up on the summer. That's his second given up in 5 batters tonight.
Well, Bolton had 13 home runs in his first 2 seasons in Binghamton. He's got his second on the Cape. First pitch taken upstairs to Bryce Estep. 1-0 here with 1 out. So that gets the crowd a little bit more lively here at the Gov. Just hear a little bit more chatter after that home run. Both of the 2 from Bourne have been moonshots. 1-0, Estep watches one outside at 89. Reminder, this is a Bourne team that entered this game with just 9 home runs on the season. That's the lowest of any team in the Cape League, even though they're one of the best hitting teams. 2 balls, no strikes. 1-0. Estep crushes it. Fouls it away, though. That ball, I think, is going to clear the trees just beyond the left field foul pole.
Everyone's trying to join the home run party.
Estep's got 1 of them on the year. He digs back in. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Bases empty, infield back. Righty on righty. The 2-1 pitch from Cantrell. Fastball taken at the top of the zone for strike 2. You look at this Bourne lineup, and especially through most of the season, you would expect them to hit for a lot more power. Both the Costello brothers can hit for power. Most of Luke's power has been in the alleys. 2-2 on Estep. High fastball cut on and missed for out number 2. Cantrell climbs the ladder and hits 90 to retire Estep, second out of the inning. Cantrell's got his 3rd strikeout as the lineup card flips over for Riker Waite. Waite today 1 for 3 with the single. 2 outs with the bases empty. 10-5, Falmouth ahead. First pitch, breaking ball in the zone for strike 1. It's a nice pitch from Cantrell, who's got a pretty good arsenal for a college pitcher. You normally see a guy throwing 2, maybe 3 pitches, but we've seen 3 or 4 here from Cantrell. 0-1. Waite watches one up and away. Off speed, can't find the zone. Ball and a strike here, top 7. Bourne inching closer. They got 4 runs in the 6th, and they got 1 here. Can they dig further into this Falmouth lead? 1-1. Waite swings and misses at the breaking ball. A ball and 2 strikes with 2 gone in the inning. Riker Waite, one of a handful of Vanderbilt Commodores on the team. Has to play against a different Commodore squad here. Cantrell's 1-2. Breaking ball roped into left field, coming in and letting it drop is the left fielder Carter White. It bounces between him and the left field foul line, and it's a 2-out single for Riker Waite, who's got his 2nd knock of the ballgame.
This is a Braves team that was being out-hit by double digits at one point. All of a sudden, it's 14-8, so Commodores still hold the edge. But the Braves, like we said, have tended to hit better in the latter innings, and you're seeing that firsthand here.
10-5, Commodores lead dwindling as Cantrell steps off, throws over. Waite in there safely. Fellow speedster and Rustin Rigdon up at the plate, who's got a hit as well today. Cantrell rocks back and forth. Sets at the belt, deals from the stretch. Waite goes, pitch grounded to first. Easy play for the first baseman, Tommy Harrison, who takes 1 step, and that's on to the first base bag. So that ends the inning, but not before Matt Bolton launches one out of Gov Fuller Field. We've played 6.5 here from the Gov, and the Commodores still lead by 5. Don't go anywhere. Good finish coming up next year on Cape League TV. Bottom 7 here at the Gov. It's 10-5 with Bourne getting a run closer in the top half of the inning on a Matt Bolton home run, and they send Jackson Kircher back out to the mound to face 9-1-2 in this Falmouth lineup. You'll see Austin Maley, Fabio Peralta, and Braden Jeffers bat. One righty and two lefties here as things get back underway. Beautiful night for baseball. It was sunny skies earlier today, and since then the clouds have gone went into overcast near first pitch, but a slight breeze and temperatures in the 70s. Just another really nice day here on Cape Cod. Austin Maley digging in. He's got a hit and a walk today. First time facing Kircher. Kircher starts in the wind. His first pitch righty-righty. Breaking ball misses low and inside. It's a Falmouth team that's kind of fighting against history. The playoffs have not been a destination for them the last couple of seasons. They're looking to clinch for the first time since 2023. Maley waits on a 1-0. Fastball swung on and missed. Comes in at 94. Haven't made the playoffs since 23. Have not made a championship since 2016. It's not to say that the Commodores haven't been a successful organization in the Cape League. They were one of the 4 founding teams way back in the day. Kircher ready. From the wind, the 1-1. Fastball swung on and missed. Maley tardy again. The first 4 teams were Chatham, Falmouth, Hyannis, and Osterville. A lot of history here at Gov Fuller Field. Commodores have been playing here since the mid-60s. A ball and 2 strikes, nobody out, bases clear. 1-2 pitch. Maley swings and misses. Comes in at 96, just could not catch up to Kircher's fastball. He's got 4 strikeouts in his outing so far, and that's a big first out.
Yeah, Kircher really showing off his speed. I think 3 of these 4 Ks have come via the fastball. So he's showing my off speed is good, but not many people are going to catch up to my fastball, and that's working well for Kircher.
Putting together a really good body of work after a couple seasons at Arkansas. He's got a righty-lefty matchup here with Fabio Peralta. First pitch. Fastball misses inside. The correction, his first season was at Oklahoma. 1 season at Arkansas. That was this past spring. Comes in with the career record, or career ERA in college above 7. But that ERA has been pretty low here for Bourne this season. 1-0 on Peralta. Here's the pitch. This is in the dirt at 93. Fabio today has got a pair of singles and a walk, also an RBI. Him and Maley have been 2 of Falmouth's key players this season. Peralta wobbles that bat back and forth. The 2-0 pitch from Kircher. Breaking ball hit into shallow left field, and it gets down in front of the left fielder, Matt Bolton. Peralta with a 3-hit ball game. It's a bit of a half-hearted swing, but he was able to muscle it into shallow left, and a 1-out base runner for the Commodores. Their 15th hit of the game.
And I think because it was half-hearted, the bat was at an interesting enough angle that it did go opposite field. No one was really ready for that. The partial shift applied by the Braves, and a nice piece of heads-up hitting from Peralta.
Braden Jeffers stands in with the runner on first. First one from Kircher. Fastball inside corner for strike 1. Comes in at 93, and whether he's throwing it at 93 or 96, I mean, it's got plenty of zip to it and plenty of movement. It's not a flat pitch. Kircher steps off and throws beyond the glove of the first baseman, Overbeek, and gets into foul ground. Peralta rounds second, and he slips before heading back, and now it's out of play. So what happens here? Does Peralta get third, or will he stay at second? I think he's just going to stay put there. Just as I was talking about Kircher's fastball, he hurled one towards Josiah Overbeek at first, but overshot him. And it gives Peralta a free base off the air. First one for either team today. Lefty Jeffries up. Here's the first pitch on him. Fastball fouled away. It gets tangled up in the top of the netting for a couple seconds and bounces down.
Yeah, how about that? 15 runs, 23 hits, and finally there's an error. You would have expected one a little bit earlier.
E1 goes in the books on Kircher. Now it's 0-2. Peralta on second. Kircher from the stretch. Jeffries takes a breaking ball low and inside. Carter White, I should say, waiting on deck. Jeffries today has been a little quiet. He does have an RBI on a sac fly and a single as well. Braden Jeffries that we've seen this season, certainly capable of getting multiple hits. Kircher's 1-2. Breaking ball ripped into right field and just over the diving glove of the second baseman, Osterhaus. Getting the wave is Peralta. He will score with a hand-first slide. And there you go. There's that multiple hit game from Braden Jeffries. He's got his second RBI. Cashes in Fabio Peralta to make it 11-5 Doors.
Yeah, Osterhaus was pretty well positioned to make a play over at second base. He jumped, timed it correctly, but was kind of flailing his glove out there and misses it by a couple of inches. So lucky hit from Jeffries, and this Falmouth offense back in order.
Carter White bats lefty with Jeffries on first. Kircher's first pitch. High fastball, he checks his swing. 1-0. Kircher is not a guy who gives up runs super often, but it's going to be something that he'll punch the air about, as that reason that Peralta moved to second was because of his own error. 1-0 pitch. This is in the dirt, picked out by E-Step. That run is still earned, even though it was an error that moved Peralta over. Jeffers on first with one out. Bottom 7. Falmouth just got the lead back up to 6. Kircher's 2-0. Fastball cut on and missed. Still pumping gas out there at 94. Jeffers with a medium lead at first. White rests his bat on his shoulder. Now wiggles it up and down. 2-1 upcoming. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, with a man on and a run in. Nice night here at Gov Fuller Field. Most fans either sitting in the 2 sets of bleachers, one on each side, or sitting in camping chairs next to us. Kircher fires. Fastball got him. Swinging strikeout on 95 as White goes down. His second strikeout of the night. Second out of the inning. Here comes Tommy Harrison, still with Jeffers on first base. Already 5 strikeouts now for Kircher.
Yeah, he's throwing over 60% of his his pitches right now for strikes. So really filling up the zone, and not much that Commodores have done with it.
Harrison has an RBI single today. First pitch. Harrison gives it a ride deep into right field. Going back is Luke Costello. Near the wall, he looks up, and this ball clears the fence. Tommy Harrison with a 2-run home run to make it 13-5. And in a game where the Commodores have stacked up hits, the second extra base hit is a big fly. Harrison, the MAC Player of the Year, leaves the yard for the first time here today.
Yeah, only the 8th game of the season for Harrison, and that's already his 2nd home run. Just so much natural power in that lefty bat. That one went long and also went very, very high, so he just unleashed on that ball. Really impressive 4-bagger.
Yeah, it was a towering fly ball, and it wasn't as much of a sure thing as the Bourne home runs off the bat. But Harrison clears the fence. 13-5. Falmouth ahead by 8. First pitch to Farner is popped up over our heads and will go out near the parking lot. Tommy Harrison just cleared the right field fence here at Gov Fuller Field. Well, the Gov is a stadium that is nearing its 100th birthday. It was constructed in the 1930s by the Works Progress Administration, a New Deal era program. Here it is standing almost a century later. 0-1. Varner rips it through the left side for a base hit. Goes past the glove of Ryan Piketowski, and he's got another hit today. 3-hit ball game, his second single. And the hits just keep on coming for Falmouth.
And this is more akin to what the Commodores did in the first and second inning. That's now 4 hits this inning. They might scratch the 20-hit mark if this keeps up, and another good showing from the Commodores offense.
Got to imagine that this is the guy who wants a hit above anyone else, especially in that Falmouth dugout. Jeff Luigi today is 0 for 4. He's the only Commodore who does not have a knock today. Farner on first with 2 outs. Kircher's first pitch, fastball upstairs. It is surprising that it's not only the designated hitter, but Luigi, of all players, to not have a hit, considering how much of a tear he's been on since arriving on the Cape. 1-0 with 2 outs. Kircher's offering. Breaking ball cut on and missed. Luigi was late on it. Ball and a strike. 3 runs have scored in this inning. First on an RBI single from Braden Jeffries, then on a 2-run jack from Tommy Harrison. Kircher just trying to get out of a jam. He doesn't usually find himself in those. 1-1. Breaking ball up and away. 2 balls and a strike. 13-5. Whenever Bourne has come back into this game, Falmouth has almost erased any run support that Bourne has given itself. Kircher ready. His 2-1. Fastball misses low and inside. 3-1 here on Jeff Luigi.
This is really one of the first times all season that Kircher's been tested like this. He did give up his first loss of the year 5 days ago against Hyannis, but even in that one, he gave up just a 3-1 loss. This is the first time they've gotten a good amount of runs against him.
Here's his 3-1 pitch. Luigi takes a fastball inside for ball 4. Kircher was asking where it was. Home plate umpire Robert Melms motioned that it was inside. So now Falmouth just keeps the train moving here. 2 on with 2 outs, and now Scott Landers is coming out of the dugout. It's been an often too familiar sight for this Bourne team, and he just pointed at his bullpen, indicating he's going to make a change. I think Jackson Kircher was still wondering about where that last pitch was to Jeff Luigi. But Landers will get up there and grab the ball from him, and Kircher will wait with him on the mound as the next Bourne pitcher gets ready to go. We'll step aside here on Cape League TV. All Falmouth here on Tuesday night. 13-5, the Commodores lead the Braves. Kircher exits. We'll be back for the rest of the 7th after the break. Scott Landers making another pitching change here. It's the 5th Bourne arm to be used in this game. Been a tough night for the Braves as Falmouth leads by a score of 13-5 here bottom 7. Alex, what do we know about the new right-hander in the game, Cameron Seagraves?
Yeah, Seagraves making his 4th bullpen appearance of the season. He's been pretty good through 5 innings of a 1.80 ERA. Was sparsely used with the North Carolina Tar Heels this past season, a team that made it far in the College World Series. Only 14 innings pitched, did not pitch in the NCAA tournament. But the one thing with Seagraves, he throws the ball very hard. He's maxed out at 98 miles per hour. And not this season, but in 2025, he threw the 3 fastest pitches that UNC had all season across all of their pitchers. So he knows how to get some heat, and right now he just needs 1 out to get out of this frame and keep this game going.
Stands tall at 6'3" here, and he inherits a tough situation. Jeff Luigi on first, Matthew Farner on second. Falmouth has put up a 3 spot this inning. Big part in that was a 2-run home run from Tommy Harrison, his 2nd of the season. Pretty impressive stuff considering he's only been on the Cape for a couple weeks at the most. Gavin Greger checks in. He's reached in all 4 of his plate appearances. Righty-lefty, first pitch from Seagraves. Fouled away. Pitch comes in at 89. Seagraves is a Bourne Brave twice over. Pitched with the Bravos last season. Only 6 innings of work and 4 appearances, but ended it with a 5.68 ERA. He's ahead 0-1. Looks back at second, now in. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball hit into center field. Should be playable. Who wants it? It's the second baseman who slides, and it's the shortstop, Waite, who makes the catch. An overhead grab. That is not an easy play, but Riker Waite loses his hat and jogs back to the dugout. It gets Bourne out of the inning, but not before Falmouth puts up 3 runs. 13-5. It's the Commodores running away with this one. We'll take things to the 8th, where Alex Burstein will take play-by-play duties. We'll talk to you on the other side of the break here from Gov Fuller Field.
Jack it up.
Fisher Cantrell stays in for a 3rd inning of work and has a comfortable lead. His Falmouth Commodores up 13-5 over the Bourne Braves at Gov Fuller Field alongside Dan Papillo. I'm Alex Burstein. Cantrell's task in the top of the 8th inning, the heart of the lineup, 3, 4, and 5 for the Braves, beginning with the right-hander Luke Costello. Before things get set,
that's a second ball that went over the fence.
Another ball from the kids playing behind the outfield fences were kicked into center field. The umpires called time, and now ready to begin the righty-righty matchup. First pitch. Costello takes the breaking ball outside. It's a 1-0 count. Cantrell's had mixed results through his first 1 2/3 innings pitched. Has given up 2 home runs to the Bravos. 1-0 pitch. Costello takes a fastball high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Interested to see how manager Jack Dahm plays this. Obviously, a lot of stakes on the line, win, and you're in the playoffs. You're up by 8 runs. Curious to see when too much is too much for your pitchers.
2-0 offering. Costello pops it behind home plate, and that'll be a souvenir for a fan. Well, you have to imagine it's definitely a longer leash than usual. Someone like Fisher Cantrell, who's maybe had his toughest outing of the season, 2 home runs still in the game for this top of the 8th. As the tall righty comes set with his black glove at his belt, peers home and fires the 2-1. Costello takes the breaking pitch for a strike, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Adding those 3 runs in the bottom half of the 7th definitely take the pressure off a little bit. You know, you went up by double digits. Bourne was really storming back with 5 unanswered. And now you're kind of in a more comfortable spot.
13-5, the Falmouth lead. Next pitch, Costello swings, fouls it high in the air off to the right side, and it escapes to the bleachers, bangs down in front of a few fans, and the count stays even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's been a wild day for this Commodores offense. 4 runs in both the first and the second. They added 2 in the 5th, and then the aforementioned 3 runs of insurance in the 7th. Bourne trying to get some runs in the top of the 8th. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Luke Costello. Cantrell fires. Breaking ball misses inside, and it's a full count to begin off the top of the 8th. Costello wrapped an RBI single back in inning 6. He's 1 for 3 today. The transfer portal commit to South Carolina. Does he have a second hit in him? Cantrell rocks and fires the payoff pitch. Costello behind the fastball, and that's another strikeout for Fisher Cantrell, his 4th of the day, and there's 1 down to begin the 8th.
Yeah, the fastball has been working really well today for Cantrell. Only gets up to 90 miles an hour on that one, but it's the deception of pitching, working in off speed, and then blowing by 90 miles an hour to get the big strikeout.
So the base is empty for Josiah Overbeek, the left-handed commit to Mississippi State, against the right-handed Cantrell. Cantrell sets at his face, now turns and fires. Overbeek takes the heater for an inside strike, and it's a 0-1 count. Overbeek moving on to Mississippi State after his freshman season with Army. 0-1 offering. Overbeek takes the inside breaking pitch. Appeal down to third base umpire Glenn Stewart on what was a very, very little check swing from Overbeek. He did not go around, and the count moves to 1-1. Cantrell's laboring in his 3rd inning of work. The next pitch misses inside again. Overbeek, a guy who's very confident in his playing abilities. Why wouldn't you be? He hit .314 as a true freshman and has stormed onto the Cape. His first home run, his last plate appearance, 3 RBI homer. 2-1 offering. Fastball misses outside. He's so confident that I told 24/7 Sports this week that he is very confident when he says that Mississippi State will be in Omaha next year competing for an NCAA tournament title.
If he hits the ball like he did today, I can definitely see why.
Can he smoke another one? The 3-1 pitch. Overbeek behind the fastball, and the count runs full.
Definitely gave it a try on that swing. Down by 8 runs, trying to make it 7.
The Mississippi State team has a trio of freshman All-Americans that will be playing their sophomore year for the Bulldogs. Payoff pitch. Fastball swing and a miss, strike 3. Overbeek behind the heater, and there's 2 down off of back-to-back strikeouts from Cantrell, who's hitting his stride in the 8th.
Impressive stuff, and it's something that Falmouth has desperately needed. Like you talked about earlier, a lot of up and downs recently, 29 runs allowed in the last 2 games, so the pitching kind of coming back to form is something that Jack Dom definitely can't complain about.
It's up to the left-handed Berkeley Mabius to keep this inning alive. Left-handed hitter against a righty pitcher. First offering. Fastball zips into the inner 3rd for a strike. 0-1 count. Mabius 0 for 3 today. One of just 2 batters in this Braves lineup that has not got into first base. Rock in the 0-1. Breaking pitch left inside. The slider just misses from Cantrell. He's had the most luck this inning with the heater, but trying to work on some of his off-speed stuff as well before his spring campaign with Missouri State. He works quickly, fires the 1-1. Mabius takes the slider for a strike, and it's a 1-2 count on a fancy pitch placed to the inner third. 1 balls and 2 strikes on Berkeley Mabius, another Mississippi State commit. Cantrell's already fanned one in Overbeek. It's the same fate for Mabius. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball reaches high and wide. Mabius figures to also be a big part of that run for Mississippi State next year. Was a top 30 transfer portal entry and quickly signed on with Mississippi State. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Fastball misses inside. 13-5 the lead for Falmouth over Bourne in the top of the 8th inning. Bourne would need a miracle to come back in this one. Falmouth sees itself just 4 outs away from clinching a playoff berth for the first time since 2023. Who they'll play, that's still a mystery, but first they just want to clinch the spot. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. The payoff pitch. Mabius swings and fouls it back. If the season ended today, it would be the Hyannis Harbor Hawks facing off against the Commodores in that 2-3 matchup. In the West, Bourne right now slotted up against Katuitt. However, that race for the 4th spot between Katuitt and Wareham is very, very tight. A game separating the two. As eruption from the fans as a bird flies overhead.
I believe that's the osprey that lives above the light pole on the first base side. May or may not have just left some droppings.
How about that? Another payoff. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Fisher Cantrell strikes out the side in the 8th. Ospreys flying, strikeouts galore, and Falmouth now just 3 outs away from a playoff berth. First they go up to bat in the bottom of the 8th. It's 13-5 Commodores. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Cape League Baseball. Cameron Seagraves on for his first full inning of work after closing out the 7th with a pop out to the shortstop Riker Waite. It's a 13-5 lead for the Commodores, and all Seagraves can hope to do is keep this at an 8-run deficit. Alongside Tampa Pillow, I'm Alex Burstein. It's been all Commodores who now sit an inning away from clinching a playoff berth for the first time since 2023. As it'll be Seagraves facing off against Dallas Brooks to begin off the bottom of the 8th. Right-handed Seagraves worked quickly in the 7th, came in with 2 men aboard and 2 outs. He got a pop out into shallow left field off of the diving stop by the shortstop Waite. Will there be more gems in the bottom of the 8th? We'll see. Righty-lefty matchup, first pitch to Brooks. He takes the fastball for a strike at the belt, and it's an 0-1 count.
Some defensive substitutions for Bourne. Elliot Medlock comes into the game at second base, replacing Justin Osterhaus.
0-1 count. Next pitch to Brooks. Breaking ball A lot of movement, but it misses outside at 77 miles per hour. And the count evens out at 1 apiece. Medlock, a recent commit to Quinnipiac University. He's staying inside the Metro Conference after playing for Ryder this past year. 1-1 fastball is drilled out to right field. Costello chases it and makes the run right in front of the warning track. Catches it for out number 1.
We've seen a lot of those today, Alex. Hard hit balls on both sides going right to defenders, but you know what? That's baseball, Susan.
It's a very talented outfield for the Bourne Braves. Bolton, Rigdon, and Costello all have won awards at the collegiate level and now have starred for the Braves this summer. Austin Maley at the plate, first offering. Curveball marches into the zone for a strike, 0-1 the count. Maley a single in the second inning, a walk in the 5th. He swings around his half brown, half red bat, and the 0-1. Bounces in the dirt, skips past the glove of ASCAP, and the count now even. Maley's a guy who has really only played 2 positions this year for the Commodores. At second base tonight, he's also seen some time at the DH spot where he was an all-star for the West Division. Seagraves 1-1. Curveball, Maley holds off of it in the dirt, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. It's not something you see a lot in the Cape League. Usually you'll see guys, especially in the infield, play around, maybe second, short, and third, mix it up. However, head coach Jack Dahm has been honest. Maley still in the portal. He wants as much tape at his position by trade. 2-1. Maley swings, hits it high in the air, foul territory left side. A trio of Braves chase over to the line, and it's the shortstop Waite who gets under it for the second out grab.
And to that point, Alex, usually you see a lot of guys play out of position, especially last season on the Commodores. You had a lot of players who were naturally outfielders come into the infield, usually the other way around. Justin Osterhaus, a good example, played all games at shortstop last year for the Commodores. So interesting to see the guys move around and, you know, really experiment throughout the season. But for Austin Maley, if he wants to get those reps at short, let him have them.
Top of the order, Fabio Peralta with 2 down in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch. Peralta takes the fastball at his knees for a strike. 13-5, Commodores on top of the Braves. Falmouth 3 outs defensively from clinching a playoff spot in the Cape League. Seagraves has been efficient through 3 batters. He's retired all of them. Next offering. Peralta watches the fastball outside, and the count even at 1 apiece. Peralta has been the leadoff guy for multiple weeks now for this Falmouth team. 1-1. Swings at a high heater. And it's a 1-2 count. That one was so high that Bryce Estep had to jump out of his crotch and nab the high outside fastball. And it's a 1-2 count. Peralta calls time.
Had a nice long conversation with Fabio Peralta earlier this afternoon, and hearing a lot about his story and all he had to overcome. Defected from Cuba, his father had cancer, a lot of things to overcome to be in the spot.
1-2, Peralta lines it foul to the left side.
The biggest takeaway from that conversation with Peralta was this is his mission. He feels that his life goal is to be on a baseball field and to one day be on a major league roster.
He's making a good case for it this summer. Down in the count 1-2, next pitch. Peralta fouls it off again. He said that he feels like playing in the Cape League is playing like your kids again because this is what he loves to do. He's been in the lineup now 32 times for the Commodores this summer. That's out of 36 possible games. So it's an all-star in center field. And now trying to make this late playoff push. 1-2. Peralta check swings on the outside fastball. Third base umpire Glenn Stewart says he did not go around.
Another thing he said he loves about the Cape is just the environment. Obviously, there's so many great things about being on Cape Cod for the summer, but the fact that he can go to the beach in the afternoon and then play baseball at night is a dream come true for Fabio.
Good atmosphere tonight at Gov Fuller Field. 2-2. Peralta watches it bounce at home plate, and it's a full count on the left-handed hitter. Dark skies. Most of the fans have stayed put in their seats. It's 8:49 p.m. on a Tuesday night. Home Commodores have put on a show, up 13-5. Bases empty, 3-2 count on Peralta. Payoff pitch. Peralta swings, hits it back up the middle and through. The speedster turns around first, thought about turning two, but instead walks back to the bag with a 2-out single, and the leadoff man is aboard with 2 down in the 8th.
I mean, what a day for Peralta. 4 hits on the afternoon, or on the evening rather, just putting on another great performance. And like you talked about, this is why he's been in the lineup every single day. Consistently performing. He was an all-star for a reason, and he's a big reason why the Commodores are 3 outs away from a playoff spot.
4 singles, a walk, and a flyout. That shows you how good this Commodores offense has been with 6 plate appearances. First pitch to the lefty, Braden Jeffries, bounces in the dirt, and it's a 1-0 count. The top of the order has done so much damage today for the Commodores. You look at just the first 3 hitters, and you have 8 hits, 6 runs. That alone is enough to beat the Bourne Braves today. 13-5, the Commodores lead. 1 ball, no strike on Jeffries. Next pitch, he bounces it over to second base. Medlock over, makes the grab, and a quick throw to first. Retires the side in the bottom of the 8th. A 2-out single for Fabio Peralta. The Commodores can't do anything with it, but still in control. 13-5. 3 outs for Falmouth to clinch a spot in the Cape League playoffs. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Cape League Baseball. The day starts with the Gardner-Webb Bulldog, and it may end with one as well. J.R. Struck comes in to relieve Fisher Cantrell in the top of the 9th inning for the Commodores, up 13-5 over the Bourne Braves. Alongside Daniel Stein, I'm Alex Burstein. The Commodores now just 3 outs away from clinching a spot in the 2026 Cape Cod Baseball League playoffs. It'll be Struck against the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, beginning with Elliot Medlock, who came in defensively last inning for the Braves at second. Long wait from Struck, the first pitch. He swings and bounces it over to shortstop. Farner on the run, grabs it and throws to first in time for the first out. So 1 pitch for Struck to get 1 out. 6'1", just wrapped up his freshman campaign at Rollins, a Division II college, and now headed to play Division I baseball. Ryan Pikatowski comes to the plate, right-hander against the righty Struck. First pitch. Fastball zips into the zone at 88 for a strike. It's 0-1. It's been a quiet first day of the summer for Pikatowski. A pop-out, line-out, and a strikeout. Struck stands tall and is 0-1. Fastball again, it's a strike. 88 once again from the righty, and he's up in the count now 0-2. He works with a fastball, slider, and changeup. He hunches over on the mound, looks home, and fires the 0-2. Hit high in the air, down the left field line. White comes in and watches it drop in front of him. Pietrowski has his first hit on the Cape Cod Baseball League season, and there's one on with one away in the top of the ninth.
Yeah, this was a weird hit. I'm trying to tell if he broke his bat because it kind of sounded like he did. I can't tell if I see a shard of the bat right there next to the first base line. But, hey, that's solace for what's been otherwise kind of a tough day for Pietrowski. You know, gets the monkey off his back. He's got his first hit here on the Cape League. We'll see if he can translate some of that JUCO talent later on.
At Bolton at the plate, righty-lefty matchup. First pitch, he hits it down the right field line, and it dribbles into the outfield. Back-to-back singles for this Bourne Braves team. They aren't going down without a fight, and there's 2 on to begin the top of the ninth with 1 away and a 13-5 lead for the Commodores.
Yeah, Matt Bolton is putting together a nice day. He had that home run a couple innings ago. Now he's got a single, so multi-hit game. And Bolton, you know, he's probably not used to hitting 8th in the lineup considering how much of a superstar he is at Binghamton, but this is just what's really interesting about this Bourne team because they have a lot of offensive depth.
Bryce Estep steps into the righty's batter's box against the right-handed Struck. First pitch, breaking ball, clips the outside part of the zone. It's a 0-1 count. Pietrowski at second, Bolton at first. It's an 8-run deficit for the Braves. They have 2 outs to work with in the top of the ninth. Falmouth trying to clinch a playoff spot. The 0-1. Fastball misses high and inside, right in front of the helmet of Estep. It's been a big day for the Gardner-Webb baseball program. Colby Putnam started the day for the Commodores. He's in line for the victory. Struck, sets and fires. Fastball for a strike. It's 1-2. Now it's J.R. Struck, a recent commit to Gardner-Webb, trying to close things out and send the Commodores back to the postseason. Pietrowski off a second, Bolton off of first. Moderate leads for both of them. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Struck fires. Estep takes the off speed inside, and the count evens out at 2 apiece. Estep figures to be competing for catching reps at South Carolina next year. He's headed there alongside Andrew Costello, who was a catcher in the most of the season for the Braves. Next pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Foul tip into the catcher's mitt of Brooks, and there's 2 down in the 9th. First strikeout of the day for Struck. And now it's up to Riker Waite to keep the game going. A switch hitter out of Vanderbilt sets up shop in the lefty's batter's box against the right-handed reliever. Waite antsy in the batter's box. Now he gets his first pitch. Fastball misses outside. Waits rejoined the Braves on Sunday. He spent some time with Team USA, who finished second in the Collegiate Baseball International Championships. 1-0. Check swing, he misses, but it doesn't matter. The ball outside and a 2-0 count. We've seen it tonight. Wait, a really, really good glove. His bat not too shabby as well. In the leadoff spot tonight, despite hitting just 182 through his first 4 games. 2 balls and no strikes. The next pitch. Wait, takes the fastball on the inner third, and it's a 2-1 count. Waite was top 15 among all Division I shortstops this past year in defensive runs saved. That means that he makes some important catches. 2-1. Fastball just above the dirt, and it's a 3-1 count. Struck started off the inning with a first pitch ground out, but since then, single, and he finally got a strikeout against Bryce Estep. 2 away, a 3-1 count on Riker Waite. Next pitch. Misses high, and that's a 5-pitch walk. The Commodores still in control, but the base is now loaded in the top of the ninth.
Well, one thing that's a constant with Scott Landers' teams is, well, there's a couple of things. One of them is that they're not going to go down without a fight, and also that these guys are elite hitters. So even when they're down by 8, their backs are completely up against the wall. Hey, here you go. Bases loaded for one of their best hitters in Rustin Rigdon.
Rigdon today 1 for 4 with a single stolen base and a run. First pitch to the lefty. He clubs it high over the netting behind home plate, and it's an 0-1 count. The fastball, not overpowering from J.R. Struck. He's mostly been sitting around 88, 89 miles per hour. Does have that one strikeout to E-step, though, so it's been tricky to catch up to. Ducks on the pond, 0-1 the count on the left-handed Rigdon. Next pitch. Off speed, misses outside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 19 hits on the day for the Falmouth Commodores, 10 for the Bourne Braves. Hasn't been a horrible offensive day, but not enough to catch the pesky Commodores. 1 ball, 1 strike. Struck. Punches over and fires. Fastball lined into right field. It ducks down for a base hit. Medlock scores easily. Everyone stays put after advancing 1 bag, and it's 13-6. Rigdon, just a simple piece of hitting over the head of Austin Maley, who was standing in the second base position. And now Bolton at third base, Riker Waite at second, and Rustin Rigdon at first. You have a good bat at the plate in Luke Costello. Righty-righty matchup. The Struck have that third out in him to send the Commodores to the postseason. First pitch. Breaking ball clips the outer third. It's an 0-1 count.
You mentioned it earlier how it really hasn't been a bad offensive showing for Bourne. I mean, 6 runs on 11 hits. It's about all you can ask here if you're Scott Landers.
0-1. Costello takes the off speed at his knees, and it misses the zone for a 1-1 count.
And I do think even if they lose this game, it really does feel like this game is going to be kind of an aberration just when you consider how many singles Falmouth had and the lack of extra base hits.
Struck's 1-1. Costello behind the heater, and it's 1-2. It's been a lot of singles on both sides of the ball. Falmouth with 19 hits and now 1 strike away from heading to the postseason. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 away. The base is loaded. Luke Costello at the plate. The pitch. Costello checks his swing on a bouncing ball in the dirt. Brooks retreats it right behind home plate, and all the runners stay put. It's Matt Bolden at third, Riker Waite at second, Rustin Rigdon at first. Elliot Medlock has already come all the way around to score. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Here's the pitch. Costello fouls it off over the right side.
It's a good fight. I mean, he's gotten 2 off-speed pitches. The first one was in the dirt, but it was a breaking ball. This one looks like a slider or cutter that he does not get a lot of the bat on, but he protects. Here we go again, 2-2.
All the bases occupied. 13-6, the Falmouth lead. Next pitch. Fastball dribbled off the foot of Struck. It's collected by Maley, and he can't pull the ball in. 1 run comes in to score, and everyone once again advances an extra base. So Matt Bolton comes around to score, and it is 13-7. The ball was rocketed on the ground, hit off the right foot of Struck on the mound, and Maley was positioned perfectly to grab the ball right behind second base. He could have stepped on the bag, gotten Rustin Rigdon out, and ended the game, but he could not pull it in. And now the base is still loaded for Josiah Overbeek. Already a 3-run shot tonight. First pitch. Overbeek takes the off-speed outside, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. 2 runs already in to score in the 9th. It's 13-7. The lead for this Falmouth team. Struck hunches over, fires the 1-0. Fastball gets between the legs of Brooks, but all the runners stay put.
So it's interesting. It goes in the book as an E4, which I don't know if I agree with because it took a deflection off the pitcher's foot, and Maley was already covering for a force out at second. I just don't really think he was in position to anticipate that ball anyway. Either way, comes around to score the run.
Tough luck play for Maley. 2 balls and no strikes on the lefty. Next pitch. Fastball misses high and wide, and it's a 3-0 count. So you still have a comfortable 6-0 lead. There's 2 away, but Struck certainly showcasing some struggles in the top of the 9th. Already 2 gone. The bases are loaded, and you have some heavy hitters coming to the plate. Overbeek, as we mentioned, already ripped a home run today. 3-0. Fastball misses high, and that's a 4-pitch walk. Another run comes in to score. An RBI walk for Overbeek. Brings Riker Waite home, and the bases stay loaded for Berkeley Mabius.
I was looking at the Falmouth dugout, and it's going to be Paul Evans out there, the pitching coach, instead of Jack Dahm. And I know you don't want to use a 4th arm to get 1 out, but now this game is getting a little bit too close for comfort here, because if the worst-case scenario happens for Falmouth with Mabius at the plate, that makes it a 1-run game, which is kind of unthinkable at the beginning of this inning. Again, after 4 batters in the inning, there were 2 outs. Since then, the last 4 have reached. So with a good hitter and Mabius up at the plate, I would say it's a little bit of a risk keeping Struck in. But again, Evans has about as much experience as any pitching coach on the Cape, so his words are going to ring true, whatever he's saying to him on the mound.
Mabius, the 9th hitter of the inning. So if he's able to reach, it'll be Elliot Medlock coming to bat for the 2nd time this inning. The one good sign for Commodores fans, Mabius 0 for 4 today. Everyone takes their leads. Righty-lefty matchup. First pitch. Zips into the zone. A curveball at 79 miles per hour freezes Mabius, and it's an 0-1 count. Mabius a pair of lineouts, a flyout, and a strikeout today. He awaits the 0-1. Another breaking pitch, this time low. This inning started off with a ground out on the first pitch, but since then we've seen 3 hits, a couple of walks, and an error that have benefited the Bourne Braves, down 13-8. 1-1. Breaking pitch gets past Brooks, and charging home to score, Rustin Rigdon. Everyone goes up a base, and the ball got into the dugout out of play. 13-9. All of a sudden, it is a 4-run ball game in the top of the 9th, and the Braves have had now tied for their best offensive inning of the day with 4 runs. They plated 4 back in inning 6, 1 the next inning, and now 4 in the 9th to make it a 13-9 ball game. 2 balls and a strike on Mabius. Next pitch. Fastball misses inside. It's a 3-1 count.
Hey, this is it right here. Because, I mean, if you put him on, Medlock's the tying run.
Luke Costello off of third base. Josiah Overbeek stands at second. 3 balls and 1 strike on Berkeley Mabius. J.R. Struck comes home. Fastball misses at the knees, and it's a 4-1 count. That's a walk to Mabius. The bases are loaded. And it's up to Elliot Medlock to keep this game alive.
I mean, Jack Dahm is not moving. This is a game. This is a game of all time, Alex. This is how many twists and turns has this game had?
Medlock rounded out on the first pitch of this inning to the shortstop. What does he have in store this time? First pitch. Fastball clips the outside part of the zone. It's an 0-1 count. Ryan Piketowski awaits on deck. Matt Bolton in the hole. 3 runners aboard, and Medlock at home represents the game-tying run. Bourne down 13-9. The 0-1. Fastball goes low. The Commodores have needed just 1 out now for 6 batters to clinch a playoff spot. Can they find it here? 1 ball and 1 strike on Medlock. Strock fires. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 2. And the Braves down to their last strike of this Tuesday night affair. 9:09 p.m., 3 hours and 9 minutes of baseball has been played. Do the Commodores have the win in minute 190? The pitch. Fastball hit in the air out to center field. Peralta goes back, stops on the track, and makes the grab. Falmouth marches to the postseason for the first time since 2023, thanks to a wacky 13-9 win over the Braves on an offensive night at Gov Fuller Field.
I mean, it's funny to me that with all the stars on the field in this game, with all the guys from Wake Forest and Vandy and Arkansas, the pivotal at-bat comes down to a pitcher from D2 Rollins College versus D1 mid-major Ryder. But a win's a win. That's the magic of the Cape League. You never know who's going to be playing. Boy, off the bat, I thought this was trouble, Alex. But what a game. This one really had everything in it. If you like offense, well, there you go. There's 22 combined runs on 30 hits between these two teams. But, of course, the big story, Falmouth back to the playoffs for the first time since 2023.
Colby Putnam receives the win, the right-hander out of Gardner-Webb. Tyler Baird is marked with the loss, the right-hander out of Vanderbilt. A crazy, wild game. Your final game time tonight, 3 hours and 10 minutes at Gov Fuller Field. The Falmouth Commodores advance to 16, 18, and 2. And most importantly, they now are clinched into the postseason for the first time since 2023. That means 6 of the 10 spots, of the 8 spots in the Cape Cod Baseball League postseason are clinched. YD, Brewster, and Harwich in the East. Bourne, Hyannis, and Falmouth in the West. And it'll be between Chatham and Orleans in the East and Katuitt and Wareham in the West for that final postseason spot. That just about wraps